Slightly. All right, we're live. Check your live. Oh, it looks like we're coming on. Yeah. For some reason, the video. Oh, there we go. Okay.
Cool.
Pause it. Video. Oh, there we go. Okay.
Cool.
Pause it. Video. Oh, there we go. Okay.
Cool.
Pause it. Video. Oh, there we go. Okay.
Cool.
Okay. Pause it. So there's your chat. Oh, there we go. Okay. And my chat. Pause it. So there's your chat. Oh, there we go. Okay. And my chat. Pause. Check sound on the cell phone. I think we're good.
Can we go to my? Is this the?
Yeah, but I paused it
Okay.
just so that it doesn't wear on the computer. All right. So we are live. What's up, Traveling Excellence? How's it going? 69 way better. How you doing? I hope you're having a good day today. Happy Friday. Happy, what is it? Black Friday. Yeah, it's Black Friday. That's why I'm wearing my black shirt.
How was your Thanksgiving yesterday?
That was good.
Oh, my mic. Maybe put that
Did-
down. Also could be useful.
Yeah. We did a Friendsgiving yesterday. I'm just gonna check the sounds all right on your guys' end.
Hello. Testing. Can you hear me?
Yeah. I'm just gonna check it on my phone just to make sure it's all right.
I think we started off better than last week. We got some good lighting here. We're not in the
Yeah, we're
in the
not-
darkness like Evanescence.
Yeah.
Shout out again, Beardman Barbershop in Calle Diaz of Poblado. Cut me up pretty good again, looking pretty sharp. So go and see Mateo, great bloke, and he'll cut you up good as well.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it sounds great.
Good,
All right, cool.
Good, we're good.
Traveling Essence, thank you. DJ Muñeco. Se escucha perro. Ah, qué bien.
We got CBL in the house as well.
CBL Daddy. What's his name? He's got a real name though. He's my friend on Facebook now. I forget his real name.
Billy?
Billy
Billy
Idol.
CBL Billy. Hey, so today we have a great episode planned for you guys. And we're basically going to be talking about how Medellin has changed so much. I mean, even since the last 2 years since I got here, it's completely changed. I was just driving up Calle Diaz today. I was like, oh my God, it's completely different world. And even more so since Andrew's been here 13 years ago. So we're going to talk about, I guess, the life stages in Medellin over the last 13 years, how it's changing. And in our opinion, how we think it's changing for the better every year that goes go by. And also remember, this is a live fundraiser. So in December, we are going to be going to a few orphanages in the area with the foundation, Andrew's foundation, Help Colombia. And we're going to be donating shoes and presents and food and all other good stuff to the kids that live in the orphanages there. So 100% of the super chats from this live stream are going to be donated to that, to buying the shoes and the food and all the other great stuff we're going to be giving to the kids. So
Yeah, it's gonna be great.
It's going to be really fun. But yeah, you got anything to say?
No, just thanks for being here, guys. We'll get started with the topic here in a second. We do have every week that I go live, I do research for the topic that we're going to talk about. I usually go live on Saturdays, but when I do go live with AK, we're doing them Fridays. But every day, every time that we go live, we kind of do like research on the topic together. And this week's topic is how Medellin is attracting a different type of expat. And I think it's a big topic because it's something that I've noticed for the last 13 years. Because when I first got here, as you know, a lot of you know my story. I got here because I got deported back in 2010. Landed in Bogota, completely broke, had to get a regular job at a call center, and then I moved to Medellin 6 months later, lived here, and got a regular job as an English teacher, as a foreign language teacher here, and the expats that I met, I identified with them, and imagine being in that situation where it's like you just got deported, lived your whole life in the United States, but now you're in Colombia, and then you meet other people that are deciding to leave the United States, but on their own will. Like I wasn't willing to leave. I was kicked out. So it was kind of like a mind blow. But like my mind was blown by some of the people that were deciding to just say, "Fuck off, U.S. I'm leaving." Or in my case, it was the U.S., but there were people from other countries as well that were like, I'm done with my home country and this is where I'm living now. And to me, it was like a mind-bending scenario because a lot of people don't decide to do that, right?
Yeah, definitely.
A lot of people stay in their country. So that's the topic for today. Hey, let's go. Venus Lover Factor, thank you so much for the $5 donut. Let's
do
go.
this. Open up the floodgates. That's actually Glenn.
Yeah. Oh, that's Glenn.
We had a call
Yes,
with him the other
Glenn.
day. Yeah.
Glenn.
Carlson?
Yeah, Glenn Carlson. Yes.
Yeah. How you doing, Glenn?
Sam Akonda, what's good? How you doing?
Glenn is thinking about moving to Medellin as well.
Yeah.
He's been to many countries around the world.
Yep.
Lived in Australia for a while as well, and now he's thinking about making Medellin his new home, which is pretty exciting.
Yeah, that's it.
Like
That is
Meepo.
exciting.
Yeah. Here we go. $10. Let's do it.
It's a traveling existence.
Traveling existence. Great name. Even better donation.
Even better donation. Yabba Dabba Doo, how you doing? ABX Girl, how are you doing? How was your guys' Thanksgiving? Even though that we're in the United States, we're in Colombia, we're not in the U.S. We still kind of celebrated Thanksgiving on my end. We do a Friendsgiving at a friend's house every year. We do it at the same house because he's got like a bigger house with a dining table and everything. And we hired a chef. We usually hire a chef, right? So we hire a chef to do all of the Thanksgiving stuff, right? Like mashed potatoes, greens, beans, potatoes, ram, lamb, hog.
Cooks for everyone.
Yeah. It cooks for everyone, does like the turkey and everything. And for the last like 3 years, he had his cleaning lady being like the sous chef to this guy that was like really good. And this year, she's like, I can do it. She cooked the whole thing. She's a cleaning lady. Yeah, I put a picture on my community wall. That was all done by a cleaning lady. I was like, holy cow.
Delicious?
It was, well, all the vegan stuff was, she even made vegan patties for
Wow,
me.
she can even cook vegan.
She was amazing. Like the turkey looked amazing. Like everything looked great.
So how many people did she cook for?
We were about like 20.
And what would something like that cost?
Usually, I think it costs around like 500,000 pesos or so, like
so that's about $125. So you're cooking for 20 people.
Yeah, and I mean, they could be a little bit more if you do like more ingredients or more, I guess, higher quality food or whatever.
Like luxury food.
But if you got everything like at La Carulla, it might be
That's
more
pretty
expensive.
good though, man. $125 to have an event and have 20 people and cooking vegan food and stuff as well. Yeah, that's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
We have Andres Sosa, what's up, dude? S Lanky and CBL Daddy as well. Is he watching on both channels?
I think so. CBL.
I didn't know you can do that. Good stuff.
He's got us
Sam Akonda's back
on
as
all
always.
devices.
How you doing, Sam Akonda? Streaming on all devices at the same time.
Yeah, we're live. We're both live on YouTube. I'm also live on. I think we're live on the Facebook.
On Gringo Pie?
No, on Medellin Masterclass's Facebook.
Okay.
I think I set that up.
Cool.
Yeah, let me check. Medellin Masterclass Facebook. Although we have nobody that follows us there. Yeah.
Not yet, anyway.
We might be live there. Oh, no, we're not. Oh, we are live there.
Okay.
Yes.
Nice.
Medellin Masterclass on Facebook.
Oh,
My mom.
Yeah, that's your mom, Rocio.
My mom. Yeah, cool. Rocio Macia on Medellin Masterclass Facebook. Let's go. So we're live on Facebook. We're both live on both of our YouTube channels. I'm live on Tinder and Grindr, so you guys can find me there.
Hey, whatever you're into.
Yeah,
dude,
I don't have an OnlyFans. I've got an OnlyFeet.
I'm a bit worried that I'm locked in this room with you right now. That could be something. Please send help.
ABX Girl says that Thanksgiving is still happening for her. Yeah, that's the greatest thing about Thanksgiving is all the leftovers.
Yeah. Nifty 50. He's got. You know what a Nifty 50 is?
Nifty 50.
Do you know what that is?
Let's talk all about it. That used to be the song for all the 50 states that you learn when you're in grade school. Yeah.
Okay, Nifty 50 is actually like one of the best camera lenses ever made. I gave it to you. I gave you that big one you have for your camera?
Oh,
that does the blurred focus. That's a Nifty 50.
I did not know that.
Just camera photographer talk, man.
Awesome.
Oh, here we go. CBL Daddy, $5. See you
Tom
December
Reeder.
13th. And Tom Reeder. Just got my pension visa approved. We'll be moving down in May. Can't wait to get back. You guys are great. Thanks, Tommy.
Thanks, Tom.
Appreciate it, man. That is going to go a long, long way.
Yeah.
It's like, what we don't realize, guys, is that very little money here goes a long, long, long way because things are cheap here. Not cheap for locals.
Yeah.
But in terms of us, who might be earning, 10 times, 20 times more than
a local,
then we can use our money, our extra savings, or put a bit aside to really help the people that we live here. And at the end of the day, we're living in their country. So I think it's up to everybody, all of us, to
It
at
is.
least give back a little bit. I mean, that's how I've been raised and how I've always thought.
And I had a friend. I had a friend. I'm talking about Joel Duncan, my business partner for the digital marketing agency, and whom I did the Colombia podcast with. His father. I always remember what his father told him is that when we were here and we were both kind of struggling, we were barely starting our business. This was like in 2014, 2015, and we weren't doing great. And he's like, you don't go to a developing nation to ask for a handout.
Yeah.
Like, and I was like, that has always resonated within me. I'm like, that's so true. If I'm going to travel anywhere and I make more than the locals do, I'm not going to be going there trying to find deals just to screw them over, right? Like, obviously I want to find deals because that's my nature to get a discount on things. And, there's a haggling culture here. But for the most part, like I want to be prepared to go for that move or that adventure in a new country. I'm definitely going to go there, not only to relax and enjoy the culture and enjoy the atmosphere and the whole country, but also to give back in some sense. And that's what we've been doing with Help Colombia. So for those of you guys that don't know, every live stream that we do up until the end of December, all proceeds will go towards Help Colombia's charity fund for Christmas. They're helping out 600 plus children, including 4 orphanages, the poor neighborhood of Moravia, which is a very low-income neighborhood where we do the English classes for the kids as well, and one cancer. It's a children's cancer foundation / orphanage, orphanage, and it's a really tough situation there, man. It's hard to even go to those places sometimes.
Yeah, and you guys are going to see all of this because one of our masterclass students, Steve, has generously donated to pay a full day of a videographer.
No way.
Yeah, he sent a very talented young local videographer to come and vlog us while we're there. So we're going to have a really beautiful video of us going to the neighborhoods and handing out all the presents and all the kids smiling and the impact that all your donations are going to make.
Yeah, so everybody will be able to see that.
And thank you, Steve, for setting that up.
Yeah, thank you, Steve, for that. Jay Blue, thank you for the $1.99. CBL Daddy with the $5 dono. I left you a message on Facebook looking for a 2-bedroom, 2-bath. What am I, a real estate agent here?
We can be.
Apartment in Laureles. Yeah, I mean, you could find it pretty easily, man. Especially if you got some sort of, I guess, good budget for it. Those are really easy.
You're going to be looking at 800 plus, at
like
least.
Furnished, yeah.
Yeah, furnished, 2 bed, 2 bath.
For a nice one.
For a nice one,
yeah about $800 plus. Yeah.
All right, so should we get to the content? I mean, last time on my live stream, I just was answering questions and I realized it was 45 minutes before I actually talked about something. So let's kick into it, Andy.
Yeah, let's kick in.
Get us going, brother.
Yeah. All right.
Stage 1.
Stage 1.
13 years ago, Medellin, when you got here. Tell me, what type of people were here?
All right, so back in 2010, when I first got here, the people that I hung out the most with and saw the most that were foreigners were backpackers. There were a lot of hostels here. There were, I think, under 30 hostels. There's about 20 hostels. I remember the main ones were the Black Sheep Hostel. The Pit Stop was like the party hostel. There was the Tiger Paw, and there was Casa Kiwi. Those were like the main 4. Those were the ones that like everyone, and Arcadia. So there was about 5 main ones where they'd have like a language exchange sometimes, or they'd have like a little barbecue, and I'd go out there and meet everyone from different countries. It wasn't even the U.S. It was mostly, believe it or not, it was mostly Europeans, a lot of Germans and Australians, because Germans travel a lot. You find them everywhere.
Sounds like a good place.
Yeah, it was actually really fun back then because there wasn't a lot of tourists, first of all. And second, it was a lot of worldly backpackers that were coming through.
Yep.
The problem a lot of the times was budget. And I didn't have a problem with that because I had 0 budget. So it was like,
that'll do
but I could understand how, like, okay, they would rather buy like beer and drinks on the street and then try to get into a club later.
Yeah.
Instead of, if you're coming with a budget, you go straight to the club, or you pre-drink at someone's apartment and then you go straight to the club and buy drinks there or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Lunch and everything was always on a budget. Traveling's on a budget when you're a backpacker.
That's the backpacker style, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Sometimes these people have like $20 a day, but it's not because they're cheap. It's because they rather spend $20 a day and travel for like 6 months,
Right.
than $100 a day in 1 month.
And it was totally, it was definitely an alluring lifestyle to me, because it was like, I was 29 years old and I was like, man, I never even thought about that,
Yeah.
that you could literally backpack the
Wow.
entire world on a small budget. And a lot of the time these people would be volunteering so
I did that too.
so that they wouldn't have to pay for their room and
Exactly,
board.
yeah.
So they would volunteer at the hostel.
It's really
Like,
fun.
yeah.
I've done it a couple of times at like reception. You meet all the people coming through,
Yeah.
and just hear their stories, check them in, and then
Yeah.
you get free accommodation. I did a few times in your state, California.
Yeah.
Because staying in a hostel, you know how much it costs there?
No.
Can be like $50 a night,
Wow.
200,000 pesos,
Wow.
for a dorm of 8 people.
A dorm of 8 people for $50?
Yeah, exactly.
That's crazy.
Yeah, yeah. In San Diego, I worked for like 3 months, like running events and stuff for all the people. That
Wow.
was really, really fun.
Yeah, that's a lot of,
So,
that's
yes.
very expensive.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. But
so-
it saved a lot. Yeah.
So yeah, back in 2010, that was the main traveler and the main tourist that you saw
Okay.
in Medellin was the backpacker.
Backpacker,
And that's why a lot of like Colombians are traumatized by gringos, or they have a depiction of the gringo as a guy in cargo shorts with a giant backpack, you know, hiking boots,
Yeah.
and then when they take off their hiking boots, they're just in sandals. Like they think that all gringos are like that, but I think now, and we'll get into it, the perception is changing because Medellin is attracting a different type of expat. So,
That
so
being
yeah,
said, I'd like to defend the backpackers as well, because that's like I mean, it's a visual thing. Doesn't look good to wear cargo shorts and stuff. But those type of people never affected anyone. They just come, travel to countries. They like the culture, the experience,
Yeah.
and then that's it.
yeah. It's true. And there's nothing against the
Yeah.
backpackers. I think it's great. But they would come and they would stay for a while, and then they would just go on to the next
Yeah, that's
country.
right,
So
yeah.
they're not real. They're not expats.
They're nomads without the digital.
Yeah, without the digital part. They were nomads with no digital. So that was the main tourist back in 2010.
Okay.
And the main type of,
And those guys, they're still here.
yeah, we still have backpackers coming through.
Yeah.
There's still hostels, backpacker hostels,
Okay.
et cetera, that cater to them,
Yeah.
which is great. But the main type of expat that was living in Medellin back in 2010 was mainly the older expats that were either on a pension or just here part-time, but they were older, right?
Okay.
They,
Like what, the retirement?
yeah, like
65
retirement
plus?
age, 50
Okay.
plus
Oh,
even,
okay.
50 plus type of retarees.
Uh-huh.
And
Men, women?
it was mostly men.
Okay.
Yeah, it was mostly men. I hardly ever. I don't think I ever saw an expat woman.
Wow.
You know, back in 2010.
2010, okay.
So yeah, it was these older gentlemen that were here to enjoy their retirement on $2,000 a month
Yep.
or $1,500 a month, which you can still see today. That type of expat is still here today because you could still live very comfortably on $1,500, $2,000 a month. In Medellin, so you still see that, but back then that was the only thing you saw.
And what was the city like back then? I know, like, just in 2002, 2003, around then is when they cleaned up Comuna 13 and it was all the danger and stuff like that.
Yeah,
What
yeah.
about 2010? Was it still hot or was it cool to hang out?
No, it was cool to hang out.
Oh, it was
yeah,
cleaned
yeah.
up and fine by then.
Yeah, it was fine. I mean, petty theft and robberies have always
Same
been
as now?
Yeah, it's always
It's the same.
like there's no. I mean, safety has gone up and down throughout the city in the last 13 years, but it's always been pretty level as in regards to crime.
Yep.
Where you will always hear about someone getting pickpocketed, someone getting held up at gunpoint. There's been up and downs with like the fleteros, which are the ones that follow
On the
like the
bikes.
businessmen
Yeah.
or the people doing cash deposits from their business or pulling out cash because they got an inside tip that someone was pulling out 20 million or 100 million pesos, or they're cashing in 100 million pesos to the bank or whatever that the case is. But fleteos, I think this year have been way less, but armed robberies have gone up.
Yeah.
A murder rate has gone down as well this year, but
Yeah.
armed robberies has gone up. So it's like you give and you take in Medellin.
Exactly. So that's stage one, the backpacker ascent on Medellin, let's call it.
Yeah, the
The age
backpacker.
of the backpackers.
But they were coming before 2010.
Okay.
They've been coming since the late 90s,
Yeah.
like in early 2000s. A lot of the people that I met here that were now retired in 2010. They're like, oh yeah, I backpacked here, 8 years ago.
And
10 years
backpackers
ago.
are crazy.
Yeah.
Like backpackers, I've met so many around the world, like old school backpackers who guys might be like 60 and they're like, yo, I was backpacking bloody Syria or Iraq or whatever. They go to the most random places. I'm like, oh my God, how was it? And they're like, it was awesome.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. But that's stage one. We have some questions. Guys, leave us some questions as well. We forgot to mention that we're taking all your questions in between our main topic today also. We have S. Lanky saying, is it okay to use Casa de Cambio for a greater amount of money instead of withdrawing from the ATM like 10 times? I mean, you probably have to do the numbers on that. Like you have to crunch, like if you go there to the Casa de Cambio and exchange once, how much is it going to cost you?
I haven't done those
rather
numbers.
Than doing ATM. I've never done Casa de Cambio yet,
Yeah.
but I've also never taken out like a huge amount of money.
Yeah.
But also the ATM fee is fixed.
Yeah.
The ATM fee is just like once, no?
Yeah, it's a one-time fee, unless if you're doing like...
The only way it would affect you is if you have a bank card that charges you international transaction fees, because that's a percentage, 5%. But I would think if the ATM fee is lower, the ATM would be better, as long as you just do it somewhere, not like in a random street. You got to go to like a centro comercial, get the money out if it's a big amount, straight to the Uber, straight home. Don't be walking around and things like that.
Yeah, that's the thing. And it also depends on what are you going to be pulling out money for? Is it for like daily expenses? You know that, in Medellin everybody accepts cards. You're going to be able to use your debit card or credit card here pretty much anywhere. Even the little mom and pop stores will take those now.
It's always good to have a bit of cash.
Yeah, back in 2010 that was not the case. No one would. You'd have to have cash. But now you can even have your card on here.
Yeah.
And they'll have the machine and you just pay with your phone.
Also, if you want to get cash, you don't want to leave your house, you can get it through the app Rappi. You can order cash on there. Someone brings it to your door within 20 minutes. And it only charges you, or not only, but it charges you 7% of the total transaction.
Yeah.
And I think the maximum you can get at is about 400,000 pesos, about 100 USD. So it's going to be $107 total. I used to do that all the time before I got a Colombian bank account.
Yes, now we got one.
Finally, I got it.
Yeah.
Like, man, there was such a... How long have we been looking for this for?
For like 3 months at least.
For a long time, and I've been back and forth, talking to the bank, talking to the chat. But I finally got it. You guys want to see it?
Oh, you got your card
It's
with
like
you?
my badge of
Hey,
honor.
big ballin'.
And it works because...
What is this wallet?
It's a surf wallet.
Oh, it's pretty cool though.
Surfing, because I'm a surfer by heart.
Surfer.
So here's my card. Block that out.
Oh,
so
looks
no one
nice.
spends on BBVA. There we go.
BBVA.
Lock that in. And with that, I got the app, and the app's all functioning. I've transferred money to locals and stuff, and that's the main reason you probably need it, because some of these locals they can't be bothered using Wise, because Wise you got to give a lot of information and things like that. But this has been awesome. Yeah,
that's amazing. CBL Daddy, haha, my bad. I'll find it on my own. CBL, I'll help you find it. Don't worry. Warren Kenner says Thanksgiving is an official holiday. No, we weren't. The pilgrims didn't come to Colombia, but yeah, it's a harvest celebration.
Yeah.
There's no harvest celebration here because in Colombia there are no seasons, so it's always a harvest here.
Hey, one more question, but I want to ask you something. David Burrow says, if paying with credit card, is it better to pay in local currency or US dollars? Always local currency, because your credit card, depending on what credit card you have, my credit card converts at the mid-market, like the good rate.
Right.
But if you change it to USD, then they add like a commission.
The commission,
on the converting charge.
So that's a really good point. If you ever get asked, do you want to get charged in dollars or pesos? You say pesos always.
And also look at things when they're doing it, because sometimes they'll just put the other one, by accident or whatever. But a question I want to ask you, well, everyone watching. Yeah. Does only the US celebrate Thanksgiving?
I think so. I mean, I don't know of any other.
Or anything else?
Well, Canada has their own Thanksgiving, but it's in September, I believe.
That's also called Thanksgiving?
It's called Thanksgiving.
And it's the same thing?
I don't know what their celebration is. I'm sure they had indigenous people there that were eradicated, so I'm sure.
That's the celebration?
I mean, well, it's a celebration of letting them come and take over the land, I guess. Okay. I mean, really, that's what it comes down to. I guess it's kind of like I don't know, it's kind of like a veil on something that was really horrible that happened.
So do people...
But in general, Thanksgiving is just you giving thanks for everything that you have to whatever you want to thank, whether it's God, the universe, whatever it is. But it's also a kind of a harvest festival, right? It's like welcoming in the new harvest.
Okay.
Or
What do you give thanks for? The number one thing this year that you're giving thanks for?
I'm definitely grateful for the growth that I've had on YouTube and the people that I've met through it.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thank you guys for being here. To all the subscribers, all of the viewers, all of the people that support the channel. I'm definitely thankful because I started it, like 2.5 months ago, and it just kind of took off. And it was bananas. It was something that I was like, okay, I'm just going to dip my feet in it and put like 5 videos up.
Yeah.
And after those 5 videos, it was like, boom, it went up. And I'm like, okay, so this is a viable way of making something happen. So
you're making good content. People loving it. You're helping.
I think so.
People.
Yeah. I try to make it.
Everyone wouldn't be here if they didn't like your content.
True.
That's amazing.
Yeah. What about you? What are you thankful for this year?
I am thankful for meeting the right people who I've been able to grow myself with and grow together with. Like, for example, like we knew each other for a long time. But I had this idea for this like a couple of projects, and then talking to you about it, and you immediately just being like, let's do it.
Yeah.
You weren't even like, maybe I don't know. You're just like, let's do it, and we go all in. And there's been other people like that helped me in different parts of my life. And I think that's one great thing about being here. There's so many like entrepreneurs and people who like in that growth mindset.
Yeah.
That meeting these people can really supercharge your life as well. So.
Yeah. That's amazing.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it's been a good year so far. This year has been awesome, and I know that next year is going to be even better.
Every
and
year
I
gets better.
Hope it's better for you guys too, and I hope this year has been great. All right, so that was back in 2010.
Okay.
Only backpackers really that you would see on the street, and it was only male backpackers for the most part. Sometimes it would be couples, but mostly male backpackers from the U.S., Australia, Germany.
Okay.
Those were the main ones that I would see, and then the expats that were living here were usually retirees that were living here long term.
Okay, so stage 1, age of the backpacker. 2010 to 2016. 2016 begins age of the bachelor party. Tell us.
Yeah, so a little preface to 2016. So between 2010 and 2016, Colombia had the limelight in a few different ways. For example, the electric stairs in Comuna 13 were built in 2011. Medellin got a bunch of awards, including most innovative city in the year, the most innovative city in the world award back in 2014, I believe it was. And that really brought Medellin into the limelight. And then we started to see in that same time period some Netflix shows like Narcos and Escobar type stuff. I remember that even ESPN did the 2 Escobars prior to that. Yeah, so Medellin and Colombia as a whole was in the limelight between 2010 and 2016. And if you do remember, in 2014 World Cup, Colombia was in the real limelight because they made it the farthest they've ever made it in the World Cup. So now they were on the world stage in the World Cup, and people were like, where is this country from? They've got people that are not black, and then there's people that are black. It's like, where is this? And people were looking at it, and more people were interested. So the people that were coming down, they weren't coming down with the intention to stay long term. They were coming down. In 2016, I started to see the influx of the bachelor party guys coming in here, a group of 20 to 30 guys renting out a big property like in the Energy building or in another building in El Poblado, and then just doing it up for a weekend, or maybe staying at the Charlie Hotel. That was a big venue as well for a lot of bachelor parties. And they would just come down here and tear it up for a weekend and then leave the next in 3 days or so. So that was something that we saw.
Where did all those guys come from? I mean, like, how did they figure out to come here for these huge bachelor parties?
Well, I think it was just word of mouth, and then some small YouTube channels and blogs. Blogs were pretty big as well. Like I had a blog in that time, and I was getting like 30,000 people to the blog monthly.
Wow.
Based on what I was blogging, and it was mostly guys again coming down here to party. They wanted to party, and it was around that time that also, remember JetBlue? I don't know if they still exist, but it was an airline called JetBlue. They were the first ones to have direct flights from Miami to Medellin. That was 3 hours. So a lot of the bachelor party people were from the East Coast, mostly from Florida, that would come down here. And sometimes it would even be guys that were like Colombian Americans that were down there. They knew about it because their families from here. Maybe they'd been here when they were kids. And they're like, we got to go party over there because Medellin has become this party town.
Yeah, so much cheaper to have a bachelor party here than in Miami.
Yeah, way cheaper. Yeah, especially if you're coming down with 10 or 20 or 30 guys.
Rent a huge Airbnb
Yeah,
or something.
yeah,
Crazy.
exactly. So that and at that time was when Airbnb started to come into Colombia as well, because before that there was no Airbnb.
Okay.
So these were the type of visitors that Medellin was attracting. As far as the people that were staying here, as far as like expats, it was still mostly older people that were down here, older guys that were here to enjoy their retirement, not couples or anything like that. It was just older guys and or entrepreneurs that had work online. They weren't digital nomads. They were just people that knew about Colombia, or they came down, visited, and then they're like, I can live here full time. And those were my friends. Those were the group of friends that I have. A lot of them still live here. A lot of them have moved on, but a lot of them lived here for many years, from 2014 and on, that were entrepreneurs, either ran a business online, or they had a business in another country but ran it from here, or they had a business here and they ran it obviously here. So those were the type of people that I hung out with back then.
Okay, so stage 2 is era or age of the party boy, age of the bachelor party.
2016.
Yeah, 2016. So we have some questions, and one question I wanted to ask you after I asked this question. Orlando Moreno asks, he says actually, best time in Medellin for me was between 2007 and 2012, before the Expats and party Gringos, before direct flights from Atlanta and Fort Lauderdale, basically before Middle America started coming. I've heard this comment a lot, the fact that many people say, 2010, 2009 was like the golden age of Medellin. What do you think about that?
I think it's because it was cheap. It was way cheaper because the population was smaller, obviously, in Medellin. It was still kind of underdeveloped in the sense of like, there was no real good internet back then. I mean, I remember in 2010 struggling for internet. And still today, you struggle a little bit on internet side, but it's way more advanced or way more developed than it's ever been. So I think the golden age back then, also, it was before, I think what really blew up Medellin in mostly the nomad and community and the backpacker community and really the tourist community was, what was that guide called? Lonely Planet.
Oh, yeah.
When Lonely Planet added it to their book, it really brought in, and that
what, like 2016 or something?
No, that was like 2008. That's when the backpackers started coming, and it was like Medellin was becoming more recognized. So Lonely Planet adding it to their thing, to their little guide, really brought in a bunch of backpackers up until 2010 and until today. I mean, a lot of people still use Lonely Planet. Yeah, still people read it.
They probably have a website. People's not buying a book and reading
it. No, but it is cool. I have one. I have an old one, Eric, thank you for the $1.99. Appreciate it, man. That's going to the Children's Christmas Fund. Let's go.
Guys, send us your questions. We're happy to answer them before we move to age 3, era 3, which starts in 2018. I'm seeing in my list here. Oh, that's an interesting one, but let's take questions first.
Yeah.
And if anyone's just joined in, this is a live fundraiser, guys. We are raising money today for the kids in 4 orphanages in low-income areas of Medellin through the foundation Help Colombia, and we're going to go there in December. We're going to be taking them food, presents, shoes, helping them improve their lives. And what we're also going to be doing is one of our masterclass students, Steve, has paid for a full day of a local videographer to come.
That's
going to
be great.
Document everything, and you guys are going to see that first person while we're there. So that's going to be super, super fun. Thank you, everyone who's already donated. We love you.
Yep, exactly. Thank you, guys.
We have some questions.
We've got AB Extra says
up, mate. Let's go.
American Airlines was the first before JetBlue. Oh, yeah. But from New York City, JFK to Medellin, I meant from Miami because there's a bigger like Colombian population in Miami. So a lot of the bachelor party guys that were coming down here in 2015, 16, 17 was, and still do. A lot of them you'll see. And now it's a mix of people, but before then it was mostly Colombian Americans that lived down there. And honestly, I couldn't even recognize them
Yeah.
I don't know what happens to Colombians that are born in the United
They're
States.
very different people.
Way different, man.
Yeah.
Like it's like
They
I
live-
guess it's kind of like the Mexicans too. Like for example, if you meet a Mexican in Mexico, like a young guy, and then you meet a young Mexican American, particularly like
From out of LA.
from like out of it's a
Yeah.
way
They
different
got their
person.
whole different culture.
It's a way different
They wear the
vibe.
shirt that's like with the button here and no buttons here. Have you seen
Yeah,
it?
like the cholo. Like the cholo
Yeah,
culture.
yeah, with the
is
low
big.
riders.
Yeah, it's really big over there.
Yeah.
But like also, but for Colombians that lived out, I couldn't recognize them, man.
Mm.
I thought they were all either Cuban, Dominican, Dominican, or Puerto Rican, but they
Same.
were Colombian, and they spoke like Cuban, Dominicans, and Puerto Ricans. I guess that's because they were around them so much in New York and New Jersey and also and in Florida.
Yeah.
And their culture and their vibe is so
They
weird. It
completely
was
changed.
way
Very
different than
different, yeah.
what a Colombian is here.
Yeah.
It is a different thing.
You got a good question from Traveling Existence.
Traveling Existence says, do you guys think that there's still an upside potential to trying to start an Airbnb business in Medellin? I've been thinking about doing this via arbitrage for some income while living in Medellin. Arbitrage meaning like you would rent out properties that are for rent, like directly from the owner, and then subletting them on Airbnb and furnishing them obviously really nicely. That might be a little bit more difficult. I've been looking for that because I had a friend that was trying to do that. I contacted 50 different apartments that were for rent, trying to contact I didn't, my assistant did. We have a spreadsheet of 50 people that we tried to contact, trying to go directly to the owner. And out of those 50 people, only 2 responded, and the responses were no. So I think people here, like if they have a property, they're not going to arbitrage. They're not going to lease it to someone to sublease on Airbnb. They'd rather just do it themselves. I'm not saying it's not possible because there are people that do that here. I saw a guy on YouTube that does that here in Colombia, but it requires more work, like more groundwork, like being able to like actually talk to homeowners, maybe coming down here and renting a property from someone directly and then telling them, hey, I want to, do this. And then on top of that, if under your name you have one property rented and then you go to another one, it might be hard to rent multiple apartments under your name in Colombia because there's a system that will catch that through your local ID, because to rent a property here, you have to have a local ID. If you don't have a local ID, you're going through someone that's doing arbitrage, like a company that does arbitrage or someone that has it on Airbnb, and you just talk to them off Airbnb.
We got another donation.
Hey, Eric, thank you so much.
With the teddy bear picture. Thanks, bro. And he has a question too.
Yeah, he says, how are the hotels and Airbnbs and vibes close to Elefant Language School in Manila? Literally 3 blocks from there. Calle Once, going in March. Yeah, that's my neighborhood. Watch my videos where I walk through the neighborhood. That's Manila.
That's the best part of Poblado, in my opinion.
I think, well, it depends for you.
Yeah, for me.
Like, for example, if I had a family, I'd probably want to live in like near El Tesoro or Los Balsos in a what do you call it? In a building with a security guard and a play area for the kids and a pool.
Definitely.
Like that's definitely what I would do if I had kids but for me as kind of single, I'm not single anymore, but
what's that?
I've been dating a girl for 3 months. I'm not single. You've met her. Oh no, you haven't met
I never
Manuela.
knew it was you off the market.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I don't like to, when I get involved with someone like that, I don't want to like kind of like play her, I'd rather just be straight up. I'm like, okay, we're together. I'm just going to chill for now.
So you're together?
But yeah, so we're together.
Congratulations.
Lefty.
Congratulations.
Left hand. I'm still
Well
recovering from the broken hand.
Well done, Andy. Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm happy for you.
I'm happy about
That's
it.
another thing to give thanks
she
about.
is cool.
Yeah.
Someone asked about that, so I'll answer that here in a second. So,
Okay.
Eric, if you watch my videos where I'm walking through the neighborhood, that's Barrio Manila, and the co-working space that I go to, that's Barrio Manila as well. So, yeah. Alvaro M says, hey, guys, mis paisanos, let me just say that I am simply grateful to have you guys in my home theater.
Whoa, let's go.
Let's go. We're on the
Premiere.
Mom, I made it to the
it.
big screen.
Bigger than DiCaprio. Let's go.
Oh my God, that made my day. That
so
made
we're
my
coming
day.
through a surround system. Yo, yo, yo.
That's funny. That's great.
Awesome. He's from London, California.
He's from London, Canada, or it's California.
No, London, Canada.
No,
That's
it's
Canadian
but
flag.
That's the Canadian flag.
Okay.
Okay.
There's a London in Canada.
The flag emoji doesn't come up for us.
Yeah,
It just
yeah.
says CA,
Okay,
by the
so
way. We
London,
know what it
Canada,
looks like.
not London, England.
Salut. Ah, salut. Je parle français un peu aussi. Also, congratulations. Verdolagas. Yeah,
He
Nacional.
also asked a question.
Yeah, Alvaro says, best
No,
Thanksgiving
he said
so-called
your
celebration.
best advice on planning a full retirement in Medellin. That's a great question.
Your best advice for planning a full retirement in
Yeah,
Medellin.
yeah.
Have money.
You know, like 2 weeks ago, Colombia, this article, this blog wrote about Colombia as the best place for retirees to move to and get the most out of their retirement.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's one of the top places or the top
The
place?
top number one.
Wow. Okay. So according to this article,
According to
and
this
obviously
article.
it's just one
Yeah, yeah,
publication that's saying that Colombia is the top place for retired people to come and spend their retirement. And I think it makes sense to me because I've been here for 13 years, and I know that your dollar can go a long way. And if you just come here for a week, a month, even for like 6 months, you might, and you're staying in Airbnbs,
Yeah.
whether it's in Laureles or in El Poblado, you might go back home and think like, wow, Medellin's expensive. And it is, if that's what you're doing.
Yes.
But if you come down here for a month for an Airbnb, and during that month, you're diligent about finding an apartment off of Airbnb at a lower price, maybe furnished, because you're going to have to do that because you're still thinking about it. Then you get a lower price, and then you're like, okay, this is where I want to live. You start working on your visa. You get your visa, your local ID. You go through the local route to get an apartment unfurnished, and then you furnish it yourself. You could be paying easily $400 per month for an apartment in El Poblado.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not even, and in the good parts of Laureles.
No one's going to believe you when you say this.
Yeah,
But it's true.
Yeah, I've been doing this for a while.
Yeah.
I just going through the purchase of another property right now in Patio Bonito, which is the neighborhood adjacent to me, and I'm just seeing deals out there, and I'm like, but it's taken me like 4 months of scouring
Yeah.
the internet, literally going to see apartments physically. So yeah, to answer your question, which was what? The best advice for
how's Medellin for retirement?
for planning for retirement.
Yeah.
The best thing that you can do is to figure out first your visa stuff. You
Yeah.
can do that before you even get down here. Figure out what it is that you're going to do for your visa,
Yeah.
how you're going to apply. You can start the application process from over there. You could start talking to an attorney that is from here,
Yeah.
from where you're at right now, and they speak English. For example, the attorneys that we work with the Medellin Masterclass students are Nexo Legal, and they speak English, but there are others out here as well. So you definitely want to get started there.
Yeah.
And on top of that, start vetting the neighborhoods, or not vetting, but kind of looking at the neighborhoods that you'd want to come in and drop in on, because it doesn't mean that you're going to live there forever,
Yeah.
but you want to check it out and check out maybe prices if you're looking to buy an apartment as well.
All right, we've got some more questions. We have Nifty 50 says, feel like Medellin has gone up in prices in just the last 4 or 5 months. How much are apartments averaging nowadays for someone new?
How
You
much
just
are
kinda said
apartments?
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It really depends if you want to buy yes, Airbnb is absolutely skyrocketing because supply meets demand, business, that's how it is.
Yeah.
But local, you know how you said this apartment, we find apartments $400, $500 a month unfurnished.
Right.
Has that price fluctuated a lot in the last couple of years? Or has it remained stagnant, about the same?
No, it has gone up. It's definitely gone up in the last 2 years, especially here in Poblado and in Laureles, where even for locals, prices of apartments for rent, unfurnished, has gone up.
Okay.
And I think it's because of what you're saying. It's supply and demand. There's more. We have a bigger population. There's more employment because unemployment rate has gone down. So there's more people with money, not disposable money, but there's more people that are making money monthly, and they're probably working within the city, so they need to live in the city. They can't afford, they could afford to live in Sabaneta, Envigado, Itagüí, but it's farther away. And if you're using local transportation, it's a bitch to get back and forth from, or Bello for that matter.
Yeah.
So they want to live in the city, so there's a lot of demand for those apartments, so they've gone up in price, but it's nothing compared to what you see on Airbnb. Don't think that Airbnb is what the locals pay for unfurnished apartments.
Yeah, so I think one thing about that is the Airbnb thing, right? Let me give you an example. Few of you guys, I published a video a year ago when I was living in the border of Poblado and Envigado called La Frontera. Nice
La
area,
Frontera,
right?
I like that area, yeah.
I was staying in a place which was 3 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, squash court, gym, like communal areas we could like do salsa dancing or whatever, swimming pool and basketball court.
Okay.
$1,500 per month on.
Wow.
Now you can't get shit for that.
No.
On Airbnb, you might
No,
get a one
no.
bedroom or something.
Yeah.
If you're very lucky, maybe a 2-bedroom.
Maybe,
But
yeah.
not with all these
Not
amenities.
with those
You're
in a
dreaming, mate.
newer
That's maybe
newer apartment.
3,000. So
Yeah, because the
Airbnb,
demand is up, and the
not
thing about tourism in Medellin, it's been year round because the weather allows for it. So
Yeah.
tourism is year round. There's like no down season. I know I own a couple of Airbnbs, and I really don't have a down season. There was a time when on Airbnb I didn't have to actually do any advertising. The Airbnb itself would just sell itself on Airbnb. Today, I actually have to do some advertising. I have a person that's dedicated to posting in social media and stuff for to find people to fill like vacant days within months. But for to that point, our occupancy is about 80% throughout the year, which is pretty good.
We have a great question from Ryan Reddy. He's asking about. From what I researched, Colombia taxes on worldwide income. Is this correct?
Yes.
There are Latin American countries that offer zero taxes on foreign sourced income.
Yeah, like Panama,
Like
Paraguay.
Yeah.
Is it Uruguay or Paraguay? I think it's Uruguay.
I'm not sure.
Oh, no, I think it's Paraguay.
I know
Anyway.
Paraguay doesn't have like importation tax.
Okay, so
Yeah.
it might be Paraguay. But anyway, yeah, there are some countries that have zero foreign income tax. Colombia taxes on worldwide income. If you stay here over 183 days in a 365-day period, you are subject to declaring taxes.
Yes.
It doesn't mean you have to pay, but you're supposed to.
Make sure you have a good
Look,
accountant.
read into this. You're supposed to.
Don't do that.
You're supposed to. No, I'm doing this. Do it.
Don't do
You're
that.
supposed
Quotation
to.
mark symbol.
You're
We'll-
supposed to be declaring worldwide income. Now, you definitely want to consult a tax accountant or an attorney
Yes.
to make sure that you're doing it the right way. And on top of that, if you're declaring in your home country and you pay taxes in your home country, you should be getting a credit for when you declare in Colombia.
Yeah.
So there's no double taxation per se, but it can get complicated if you're making a ton of money and you don't have like an S corp running money through an S corporation in the US or some sort of entity in your company in your country. But the fact of the matter is that you should be talking to a professional about this, not asking some two YouTube boneheads out here.
But these two YouTube boneheads, we have a very nice module in our masterclass.
we
When
do
talked
have.
about all about tax, and
Yeah.
I found out. Well, I didn't know anything. First of all, I found out a lot, and you learned some stuff.
I
too.
learned some stuff because I am Colombian, and I'm not American. So this is the only country that I declare for, and I did or declare to, and I didn't know that out of 50 million Colombians, there's 50 plus million Colombians.
Yeah.
You know how many people actually declare taxes in Colombia?
I don't want to know.
It's 2 million.
Oh my
Out
god!
of 50 million people in
Oh,
Colombia,
Yeah.
only 2 million actually are subject to declaring because they make enough.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
To declare.
Okay.
And out of those 2 million, 1 million actually pay taxes. So it makes a lot of sense now. Like now I
Yeah.
don't gripe anymore. After I learned this from the tax accountant, I don't gripe about the shit on the street. I don't gripe about homelessness. I'm like, nobody's paying tax. How are they going to find the money to do this?
Yeah.
On top of that, government is corrupt and they're stealing half of that.
Man. Latin America.
It's so weird,
has
man.
this- I would
I
be
was like,
if
holy
I
shit.
was a ciudadana, like someone who lives
citizen?
here,
Yeah.
citizen. Man, I'd be frustrated by the way the government.
It
goes
is
about
frustrating.
things. They
Yeah.
basically don't do fuck all.
It is
about
frustrating.
anything, right?
Yeah, at least Medellin, though, does more than the
Yeah.
other
Yeah.
cities and even states. I guess Antioquia does more for its people than some of the other states. But yeah, it's still a ways away. What's up, Chris? What's up? I met Chris at iWay. Chris, he's been a longtime viewer of my gaming channel, the Colombia podcast, before when I used to do that, and now this channel. And Chris came down with his girlfriend,
Chris
and I
is
met him.
CRS?
NYC.
Oh, nice,
Yeah, Chris.
nice.
We met up at the bar. We had a couple drinks. We watched Colombia beat Brazil
Nice. That was a good
2-1. That
game.
was super fun. Great night. Thank you for being here. That was amazing. Canada. Warren Kenner. How you doing, Warren? Thanks for being here.
Can we get to the next point?
Sure.
All right. Age 3 of the evolution of expats.
All right.
in
Well, a
Medellin.
little quick recap.
You're okay.
2010, we talked about backpackers and the expats here were retirees.
Yes.
2016, we talked about backpackers still coming here, but then it was the age of the bachelor parties. People coming down here to spend the weekend with their 20 guy friends and tearing up the city.
Because the flights from Miami became
Yeah.
direct and cheap.
Yeah, from Miami, although there were some direct flights from other
parts?
states
Okay.
as well. And also in 2016, we saw a little bit more of the entrepreneurial people coming down here that weren't nomads, that
Yes.
just wanted to stay down here and live here.
Okay. So 2018 is the age of the solo women traveler.
Yeah. From 2010 to 2018, I didn't know what a white woman looked like. I hadn't seen a white woman in 8 years. And then I started to see them between 2017 and 2018.
Okay.
And it wasn't just white women. It was women from all shades, from not only the United States, but from Germany, from Australia, even from the Middle East. You'll see Persians down here. You'll see people from Israel down here as well.
Okay.
And they were solo women travelers, and that was unheard of in Colombia. I had never seen that, and to start to see that back in 2017, 2018 was really refreshing, because it made me realize that Medellin was not only becoming world renowned, but it had gotten safer for people.
Yes.
I
think that's the epitome of safety. When the safety starts getting better is when the solo female travelers come, right?
Yeah.
Is it families come first or the solo females come first? Maybe families is the ultimate safety.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Okay,
But for sure, solo
So-
females definitely made me feel like, wow, okay, so Medellin is definitely becoming this hot spot for tourism, because
Okay.
you'd see these solo female travelers, and I'd see them, on their laptops working at
Okay,
the cafe that I'd go to.
So they were like digital nomads, like
Yeah.
entrepreneurs, not backpacker stuff.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was more of like the digital nomad type woman that was coming down here
Awesome.
to be here for like 3 months.
Okay.
And that was amazing.
And how did you feel about that?
I thought it was great. I mean, I loved it because of that fact, because
Okay.
I saw that Medellin was advancing not only in technology and infrastructure, but also in safety. If it could attract like a solo female traveler, then something right is happening. So I saw that as a definite positive. And on top of that, like, I saw that a lot of the solo female travelers that would stay here longer term would find Colombian boyfriends or even husbands. I know a couple today that are married, or I guess they're not married legally, but they've been together for like 6-7
Okay,
years.
like civil union.
Yeah, because they came down here from their country. One of them is Australian, and she's pregnant
Okay.
with a Colombian, and they just moved back to Australia after being here for like 6-7 years.
Beautiful. That's a big change, that 2018.
Yeah.
So it looks like it's really starting to attract a different type of people
Right,
in only a short 8 years, right?
right.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Ryan, we're going to get to the next one. So how many stages we have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
6 stages,
Is
yeah.
there one more?
Yeah. Today.
7. Okay, so
7 stages. We're at 2018.
We just hit number 3. We'll take some more questions and we hit number 4, right? So that, to summarize, number 3 was the age of the solo female traveler. So
Yeah.
they started coming here, they started working, they started finding local partners, I guess, and
Yeah.
really enjoying the city.
Yeah.
So Roller Styles, he says, besides El Poblado and Laureles, where is a good place to do Airbnb with the view of the mountain?
With a view of the mountain. I mean, it really depends. You could do it anywhere.
Yeah.
You can find any Airbnb pretty much in all of the city.
Envigado, Sabaneta, anywhere.
There's even Airbnbs in Bello.
Yeah,
There's
Bello,
Airbnbs
yeah.
in downtown, in Manrique,
Yeah.
in Aranjuez.
It just depends how high up it is.
And it depends on how much you want to charge and how occupied you want that to be. So the highest occupancy rate, according to AirDNA, which is a website that you can check out. If you're looking into getting into Airbnb, check out the website AirDNA, where you can get stats about Airbnbs in different parts of the world. According to AirDNA, 70% occupancy in El Poblado, and that's the highest of all of Medellin.
That makes sense.
Yeah, because that's where the travelers come.
Okay.
That's where the people that are here for the week or for a weekend or even for a month, they're going to Airbnb, and they want to be in this area because they've never been here, and it is the safest for them. It is the part where, or the area where there's more things going on, like nightlife, restaurants, etc. So yeah, there's a higher occupancy rate. Now, if you are going to be living in it for 6 months, and during those 6 months, you're going to find people to rent out your other 6 months, so you have 6 months worth of work to do.
Yeah.
You could pretty much rent anywhere out here. If you could find it, you could fill those 6 months if you're working at marketing the 6 months that you're living in it, right?
Ryan has a good question too.
Ryan, what's up, Ryan? Hey guys, just dropped in here.
This one. That's not. That's,
Temp by your temp, how you doing? Ryan says, I went to renew my Type M visa, the marriage visa, right? And was told that by law I need to have been enrolled in EPS, which is health insurance or healthcare, who charge 12.5% of your income and pension for 16% of income. Any insight on this? I don't have exact numbers and insight, but that's for public health insurance, yes. But you could also have private.
Yeah.
So you have public or private?
No, I did a video on insurance. Okay. And the insurance, I guess, representative came on and she said, and this is not me saying this is what she said. She says she recommends all her clients to just declare minimum salary.
Okay. So you heard that, Ryan? So Ryan, that 12%, 16% is based on the income that you claim.
Yes.
So if you claim that you're making $5,000 a month, it's going to be 12.5%, 16% of that $5,000. But now if you claim you only make $750 per month, then your payment per month is way lower. I learned that too because when I was even as a local independent contractor working as a foreign language teacher in downtown for a big institute, they even told me, they're like, we can't pay you unless if you're paying into public health insurance and pension or Social Security. And I said, okay, well, how much do I have to pay? They're like, it's a percentage of what you claim your income is. And I'm like, okay, well, if I claim, back then I was making like 2 million pesos per month or 2.5 million pesos per month. If I claim that, I got to pay 12.5% plus 10% or whatever, 16% towards Social Security. That's a lot of money. They're like, no, but just claim minimum wage. 750,000 pesos at that time. Well, minimum wage has gone up to like 1 million pesos now, but back then it was like 750,000 pesos. Yeah. So I had to pay the 12%, 16% of healthcare, public healthcare, and pension for that low amount. So I hope that answers your question. Yeah. Again, consult a professional. We don't want you getting in trouble.
Advice. That's what she told me, and that's
our story. Yeah.
But proceed however you wish.
Yeah.
Shall we get to the next one?
Yeah, let's get to the next one. Wait, hold on. Ed Villa says, I'm looking into buying a condominium in Medellin or Barranquilla. Do you know any good realtors? Do we know any good realtors? Yes. Well,
in Medellin we do.
Yeah, in Medellin we do know really good realtors. Check out the MedellinMasterclass.com if you want access to our full list of real estate information. You can get it there. But yeah, the real estate agents here are like used car salesmen in the United States. Basically, that's the best. That's not even my definition. That was my friend Alan Gongora, who is an attorney here. That's how he defined them. Yeah. He said that real estate agents here are like used car salesmen in the United States, and they're not called real estate agents because there is do licensing here. They're called commissioners or comisionarios because they work on commission. Yeah. They do a job for a commission, and so they're looking out for themselves to get the highest amount of commission, not to represent you and get you the best deal or the best outcome. So keep that in mind when you're doing this. Make sure you get someone that's vetted and referred to you, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's do the next age. So the last one we spoke about was 2018. We saw the solo female travelers starting to come to Medellin, which is always a good sign in any city. So stage 4, all right, the fourth era of Medellin, expat, I guess, people coming here. And that began in 2021, Andrew. So after the pandemic, lots and lots more digital nomads starting to come here. And why is that? Why suddenly the boom of digital nomads?
Well, first of all, Medellin was considered... first of all, during the pandemic, a lot of people watched Netflix. Okay. Like the entire world was watching Narcos during the pandemic. So that brought a light into Medellin. So a lot of people started researching Medellin and figured out that, that was, 20, 30 years ago. The Medellin of today is the Medellin that won, the most innovative city of the year award, multiple awards in different categories for not only innovation, but science, medicine, etc. So they realized that this is a great place to at least visit. So we started seeing more and more people. So in 2021, I started seeing more families coming down here. I remember that I was sitting in Provenza with my father and we were eating dinner, and it was like around 8:30 at night, 8 o'clock at night. And we were eating dinner at an outdoor table in Provenza. And my dad goes, and mind you that my dad hadn't been back to Colombia in more than 30 years. He had been gone out of Colombia, living in the United States for like 32 years. And we were eating out there, and he's like, holy cow, Colombia. I'd never dreamt that this would happen in Colombia. And I was like, what? And he's like, there were a family walking by with two kids that were probably 11 and 8 and a baby in a stroller. And they weren't Colombian, and they weren't like a family that was mixed, like one Colombian and a foreigner.
Yeah, just
it was
completely
extranjero.
And they looked like complete foreigners.
Complete foreigners, didn't speak English because they sat down at the table
Didn't speak Spanish.
a catty corner from us. Didn't speak Spanish at all. And my dad's like, that's amazing. I would have never thought that Colombia would turn into this.
That must have been a shock for him, because 30 years ago, I guess that was like the 90s when all the craziest part of Medellin was happening. Well, Colombia was happening.
80s,
and
80s.
he escaped to get away from that. And he comes back and says, oh my God, what?
Yeah.
People coming here for enjoyment?
Yeah, for enjoyment.
I took my family out of here. Now people bring their family in here?
Yeah, so he was shocked, and I was shocked too. I was like, this is like one of the first times I ever see a family. And now I walk through Manila and I see parents with kids walking across the street. I see people with strollers that are foreigners, complete foreigners, staying in one of the boutique hotels like the Landmark or Los Patios even, and enjoying the city, because it is, as much as the media and maybe some other YouTube channels portray Medellin as being not, I guess, an adult paradise, it is very kid-friendly. There are a lot of family-friendly things to do in Medellin. For example, like Parque Norte, Parque Explora, the 2 water parks that exist here. Even the schools, if you want to put your kid in school here, there are schools that are bilingual or literally that are every class is in English. German school, there's a Canadian school, and then one of the best schools in Latin America for kids is Montserrat as well.
Whenever I play tennis, I always tell my mate who comes with me, I'm like, dude, we got to get out of here before 4 p.m. because hordes of kids come there for their lessons, and many of them are complete gringos.
Yeah.
Like, it must be like a gringo family's moved here and they're sending their kids to the classes and stuff.
Yeah.
So, it's an amazing place.
Yeah, when I was younger, when I was 13 years ago when I first got here, and even as I was getting a little older, I never thought about Medellin as a family-friendly place because I never even thought about it, right? It was not on my radar. But now that it is on my radar and I see it because some of my friends are having kids and stuff, and I'm like, this is, and not only that, not only families are coming down to visit, but families are coming down here to live and put their kids in school, which is a completely different thing than someone just coming here for their vacation, family vacation for the summer. It's something that you see that really shocks me, and in a good way. And it's definitely a step in the right direction for Medellin, where families are coming down here to establish a life and live here full time, which I thought was amazing, because most people, they go to like a developed nation to raise their child. Yeah, like if you've got a lot of money, you're going to want them to go to school, traditionally in a developed country or something like that. But I think a lot of families nowadays, if you have a dual income and your dual income is bringing you in $10,000 a month, and for $10,000 a month, that might not go very far in most states of the United States. Yeah. At least in the most popular ones, right? Like where people want to live with good weather and stuff. That $10,000 a month might not cut it. You might be living in a small apartment with your family of 4. In Colombia, with $10,000 a month, God. That's crazy. Not only can you send your kids to private school, one of those schools that I was talking about that have like full bilingual curriculum, but you could also live in a really nice neighborhood in a really big apartment, because there's not really houses here, but a big apartment, I'll have a car, do a bunch of things with your time off and work from home at the same time.
I had the perfect example. There was this guy he's doing pretty well. He's a client of mine. I went there to do a video for him at his place. He lives in Envigado.
Okay.
He bought a house for $1 million, but this place was sick, like much better than you ever would have been able to get in anywhere in a major city in the US, right? This would have cost like 5-6 million somewhere else. And another thing that these families are figuring out is, like, obviously they can get back their time by moving here, because he had like 2 maids. He had 2 kids of like 3 and 4 and a baby. And the maid was live-in maid.
Yeah.
100% of the time.
Always taking care of
taking
them.
care.
And feeding them.
And feeding. And so he would have more time for work, focusing on his business. His wife could also focus on her hobbies and
that's
building
amazing.
up her business as
That's
well.
the ideal situation.
Yeah,
because then your time off, you're not taking care of the busy work. You're actually spending quality time doing things that everybody enjoys.
Yeah, and also a lot of times women, when they have a kid, it's like, okay, I got to pause my career because I have to look after the kid or whatever. But here, like she was had a baby and little kids, but she was still continuing to work and grow her own life rather than just being a mum.
Yeah, so if I were to have a kid, that's the way I'd want to do it. I'd
absolutely.
send them to private school, have a maid, maybe not a live-in maid, but have some sort of help as as they grow up, so that we can keep working and keep moving forward with life, and then being able to spend quality time on for a lesser budget than you would in the United States. Because in the United States, if you're taking a vacation, that might cost a pretty penny. But here, if you've got a car, you can go to any pueblo, and it's gonna be very cheap
absolutely.
to go to go hiking in a pueblo.
Yeah. So you just actually covered 2 of the stages in one hit. So the next kind of combined stages 5 and 6, where the digital nomads coming in, and then more families coming in. And also think that you said digital nomads started coming because, what was your reasoning again?
Well, I forgot to mention that the digital nomad visa was started in 2021.
Yeah, but it started in 2021?
I believe so, yeah.
Oh, okay, but another reason is because nobody knew that you could be a digital nomad before the pandemic.
Right,
you think about that?
Yeah. Well, there were
like
some...
for few, but the whole, the general population of people were like, oh, I hate my life, but this is it. I have to sit in the front of a computer here.
Yeah, and then the pandemic hit.
And then business were like, hey, work from
home.
What do you mean? I don't have to go to the office every day?
So I don't want to go back.
Yeah, and then those businesses were like, hang on, we're saving on overheads and stuff like that by keeping people at home.
Right.
All right, as long as you do the work, go away, work from wherever you want. So people realized that the world could be much more than they imagined during the pandemic.
Yeah, yeah. Let's answer a couple questions here. Chris says, 50 people watching, but only 22 likes. Guys, remember to hit the like button. Appreciate you, Chris.
Why should they hit the like button?
Why? Because
sometimes we just say hit like and people are like,
yeah, well, it's because it's a vanity number and we want to be liked. No, I'm just kidding. No, it actually helps the algorithm. The more that you like it, the more that it'll recommend it to other people that have never discovered the channel.
Absolutely.
So by you hitting the like button, it's like you supporting us. So we really appreciate when you guys do that.
If anyone wants a mini 10-second lesson in YouTube, you watch our videos. If you comment, you like, you share, subscribe, it sends YouTube a signal that, hey, that person has enjoyed these videos. Let's push it to more people.
Yeah.
So,
more people in that demographic
demographic.
Like people that like the same things that you like. It'll push it to you. So it's not like just random.
Like you.
Yeah. It might save someone's life one day.
Long story short, hit the like button.
Yabba Dabba Doo says, what store is the equivalent of a Target or a Walmart in Colombia? Falabella, Flamingo. There's a few department stores. Yeah. Falabella is like the most famous one and the one that you'll find in the malls. And it's like 3 stories. I literally got my Christmas decorations that I only have one, which my cleaning lady made that one. Oh, she is amazing handcraft
lady. Lady as the cook?
No. She's my cleaning lady. She's amazing. She made that, and she made one for the door. That's going to go on one of my Airbnb doors, but I put it there for the video for today. But anyway, Falabella is I guess the most popular department store out here.
Yeah. Guys, send us your questions. Hit us up with your questions on living in Medellin, or maybe if you want to talk about general life questions as well. We're happy to
if you want to ask us about...
And don't forget, donations.
Donations.
What are we raising money for, Andrew?
Guys, we're raising money for helpcolombianow.com. You can check them out at their website. You could also donate directly from helpcolombianow.com if you want. They've got a link to their fiduciary in the United States, so that if you need a receipt, let's say you own a company and you want to get a donation discount on taxes, you can do that through helpcolombianow.com. But if you donate to us, it goes to Help Colombia's initiative to help 600 plus children for Christmas, getting them toys, getting them to Santa Claus to come and bring them the toys, doing a little Christmas party, which includes the neighborhood of Moravia, where we teach English to the children there every Saturday, and also 4 different orphanages and 1 children's cancer center, or home, I should say, a foundation. Yeah. If you want more information on that, even before you donate or whatever, feel free to email me at medellinbuzzandrew@gmail.com. I'll give you all the information, all the links, so that you can see it. And on top of that, we're going to have videos of us giving the gifts to all the children. which we will share with you guys after, what date is it? The 16th?
16th
After
of
the
December.
16th of December, because the 16th is when we're doing all the Christmas donation drive, I guess. Yeah, Alberto says, what opportunities are there for people with a family to spend the whole summer there, June to August? Yeah, there's a lot to do during June to August. August is Feria de Flores. Remember, Feria de Flores is super family friendly, free concerts around the city, parades like the pet parade. You could even, if you have a pet, you could parade with your pet if you want. The classic car parade, and of course the flower festival parade, which is very family friendly. Native Migrant says, thoughts on Astorga? I just got a 2-month stay there. What are the best co-working spaces that are walkable? Looking at Coac and Tinco. Quokka is small. Quokka, I've been there.
You know what a quokka is?
No, what is that?
It's a small, very cute Australian animal that smiles all the time.
Oh, no wonder. That's their logo.
That's their logo.
Yeah, a quokka. Okay, so quokka, I've been to quokka, but it's small. And it's always busy with like a company, I think, like rented a lot of the space. So I didn't like it per se. I go to open space in Manila, which is adjacent to Astorga. Astorga is walking distance from me. And there's a WeWork in Astorga also, which is a big one. Mm-hmm. And that one's really cool because they do have like 5 o'clock beer specials on tap and stuff. They have a ping pong table. Really cool. But if you just want to get work done, a place like Open Space or Tico, or what is it called? Tinco. Tinco's good too. Yeah, but there's more. Like literally just Google, put in Google co-working spaces El Poblado, and you're going to see all of them are in pretty much, if it's not walking distance, it's like a 2-minute cab ride or Uber ride.
Tom says, are you going to YouTube the donation days? Yes, we are. We're going to be there with a local videographer who's filming the whole day on the 16th. After that, we're going to edit it up and put it up for all of you guys to see.
Yeah, and if you guys, when you guys come down here and you want to volunteer, make sure to hit me up. I can hook you guys up with Help Colombia so that you can come and help with the English classes, if you know programming, with the programming classes, or any activities that we have during the year in the neighborhoods or in the orphanages. It's really fun.
If anyone has any experience with coaching kids with sports,
yeah,
that's an option too.
That's an option too.
We have a local basketball team, and also I know a local lady who works at a school in a Estrato 1 school, and she wants some people to come there and help teach the kids.
Estrato 1 school. Yeah, that's got to be rough.
Out in Envigado.
Yeah. I know her. Yeah.
So she wants Margarita.
Margarita. Yeah.
She wants some people to come and help teach them sports. So if you have any experience with teaching kids sports, then let us know about that too.
Yeah.
We have a question here. I'm going to rephrase it a little bit, but Michael said, "Hey brothers, what courses or jobs can I do while living in Colombia? Need someone to teach me how to build a business." That's kind of a hard thing to teach, but I would rephrase it as saying, what are some avenues that people who watch the videos and say, I want to move to Medellin, but
I need to make money.
Yeah. What are the top 3 you would say?
What
should they go and search and study right now?
Well, first of all, it depends on what you like, bro. Like, honestly, the internet's a free course on anything that you want. Mm-hmm. Like, I've never paid for an online course for digital marketing, and I own a digital marketing agency. I didn't go to university for it, never graduated university. I learned it all on my own. I started back in the day at Barnes & Noble's on HTML for Dummies. That's how I learned how to code HTML, was HTML for Dummies, and then on a computer coding HTML, because even on the internet, there wasn't that much information. But now, for example, on how to build this YouTube channel, I learned it through YouTube. I've never paid for a course. How to build the Medellin Masterclass. We watched Sunny Lewandowski's channel on how to build a course because she's made $30 million in the last 7 years doing online courses. You can learn anything you want on the internet, but you just need to find an avenue or something that you're passionate about, because that's the best thing to do. As you can see, we're very passionate about what we're doing here, so we're making it our business. Not only is it entertainment for us and it's fun, but at the same time, we're getting paid. And, you know...
Not by YouTube. We get paid basically zero from YouTube.
Yeah, YouTube is very little.
Guys, if you want to make money, don't do YouTube. Because my whole monthly salary... I was talking to a Uber driver about this yesterday. He asked me, YouTube, that's your job? Okay, you make good money? I was like, dude, I get paid less than Colombian minimum wage from what YouTube pays me.
Yeah, for views.
True story.
And so, again, being a nerd here, so if you want to start a YouTube channel, figure out what industries pay the best CPM or cost per million, and what is the biggest revenue maker. For example, like Travel is not even at the top 10, and that's what we are.
Yeah, yeah.
We're like
The
sponsors
number one
don't pay
is
that much.
Finance channel. So if you have any,
Finance, making money online
making
channels.
money online channels.
That's number one.
Exactly.
If you want to make a YouTube channel and you want to make a lot of money, make a channel about how to make money online.
Yeah.
And there's a ton of them out there, so
many.
there's a lot of competition. But you could set yourself aside by studying.
Yeah, and just get started. Like, we're just kind of talking about YouTube now, but if anyone wants to start, the first thing is just make your first video and get it up there. It's going to be shit. Our first videos were quite shitty as well.
But that goes for anything.
Anything in life, just get started.
Just get started.
Yeah.
Start doing something while you're working your regular 9 to 5.
Yeah, figure it out as you go, right?
Start doing it, and you'll find it. But yeah, trying to find something online. For example, if you've got some sort of any type of skill that you have that you can translate to online, you can monetize it by doing gigs on Upwork, even Fiverr, making a Fiverr account, doing gigs there, and it's work, but it's not impossible. That's for sure.
Absolutely.
Okay, so
dang,
Marcus, thank you, Marcus, for the donation. Marcus says, dude, you pretty much described me. I've played several sports. I'm a professional natural competitive bodybuilder. I've done software engineering for work, and I know English as an American. Wow, Marcus, you bring a lot to the table.
First of all, thanks for the donation.
Yeah, thank you.
Kids are gonna love it.
Yeah.
Second of all, you sound like a good guy.
Yeah,
yeah.
He sound well. I think he was saying because if you want to be if you want to come down here and volunteer, hit us up for sports with the kids.
Yeah. What's your email address?
He's a programmer. Yeah, hit me up if you are coming down here.
You can do programming teaching and sports teaching and bodybuilding teaching.
Yeah, it's Medellin Buzz Andrew all together. My channel name Medellin Buzz and then Andrew at gmail.com. If you want to volunteer down here, definitely hook you up. We go every Saturday to the English classes with the kids in Moravia on Saturday morning, and that's super fun. Those kids are the best.
Good.
They're so funny. Okay, so
we got the last stage now.
Yeah, the last stage, 2023 today.
Guys, while we are getting to the last stage, make sure you leave all the questions we have because we're going to have one last question push after this last stage. But the checklist, before we get into this, you want to tell us about this checklist? It's grown. It looks awesome now.
Yeah.
We have, almost 900 people who have downloaded this checklist.
Yeah. So, guys, if you're interested in moving to Medellin at any point in your life, it doesn't have to be today. It could be tomorrow. It could be next year. Make sure to go to the MedellinMasterclass.com/checklist. It's in the pinned comment below and in the description below. Download it. It's absolutely free. We've spent over 100 hours developing this guide. It's more than just a checklist. It's a guide on how to move to Medellin, and it's completely free. We've have over 900 downloads in less than a month, right?
Yeah.
Over 900 downloads. It's definitely something that people see value in. So they're downloading it. It's completely free. And by downloading it, not only do you get the checklist for free, the guide for free, but you also are in our private newsletter where we give you updates on not only our lives, but on our projects that we're doing here in Medellin so that you stay up to date.
Absolutely. And it's really good for someone who's thinking about moving to Medellin but needs that extra push because some people are like a little bit indecisive.
Yeah, like on the fence.
What do I do about this? What do I do that? What do I need to take? Once you download this, it's 16 sections, more than 120 cells that tells you do this, this, is. And then at the end of the day, it'll just make you a bit more secure about making you move.
Yeah, we even have a cell there on like what we were talking about, working online and stuff, opportunities, etc. So it's not just a checklist of things that you could check off a list, but it's actually a guide to moving to Medellin.
It's a step-by-step guide.
Yeah, we should have named it the freaking guide. What the hell were you thinking?
I don't want to change the link now, but can you put it on the thing?
Yeah.
MedellinMasterclass.com/checklist.
Oh, wait, this is not even me. This is my other channel.
Alberto needs to figure out how to convince his wife. That's not a section we
Book a 15-minute consultation with us and your wife, and we'll convince her. No, I think she just needs to watch more videos, maybe come down here. I mean, really, what would convince her is coming down here for a week or two and literally checking it out, man. Like, honestly.
Did you type it?
Yeah.
Oh, you want me to type?
.com/checklist. It is in the there it is. It is in the description as well of the video, and it will be on the pinned comment. If you're watching this on a replay, you could still make questions. Very active in the comments.
A point about that I just need to figure out how to convince my wife. We have one of our students who just moved here, he was living an amazing life in the US. His wife is Colombian, but they met in the US.
Okay.
And then he's like, I want to move to Medellin. And she's like, I don't know. Going back to Colombia, I left there for a reason.
Yeah.
But they've been here like 3 months now. And now she's like, oh, yeah, I see why you want to.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of people just takes a couple days.
Some time.
Yeah. Maybe a week or two.
It's a stigma of what the media tells you and all these people on YouTube talking about all this.
Right.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
see for yourself.
Okay, so the last stage of Medellin's transformation as far as the type of expat that Medellin is attracting is what we're living today, 2023. There's been a shift in the type of expat that's coming down here. First of all, between 2021 and 2023, and still continuing to this day, is the sexpat. We've had a lot of those coming in after the pandemic. Parque Lleras went through a transformation that was kind of shocking to me because I never knew that there was no warning really to the locals or to me that I live in this neighborhood. I live like 12-minute walk to Parque Lleras. I never saw it coming, but Parque Lleras basically became an open air brothel.
What
literally.
was there before?
Parque Lleras used to be what Provenza is today, which is
for people that don't know,
which was even better than what Provenza is today. So Parque Lleras was basically where all of the locals would go to party. Like even people that would save up all their money for the whole month, and they would just go party there and go to a club just for one weekend. College students. They would have their graduations. They would be bussed in. There would be lines, people of college students that just graduated, nursing students that just graduated. It was kind of like a college. It was almost, it reminded me of like a college town in the U.S. on a weekend, every weekend.
Sounds fun.
Year round. It was absolutely incredible. If anybody came down here before Parque Lleras became what it is today, you remember that it was such an amazing time, and it was so fun, and there's zero. I mean, I wouldn't say zero prostitution. There would be maybe one or two. You'd be like, oh, that's a prostitute, and nobody would even bat an eye because there would be hundreds of other people there in the park, in the clubs, in the restaurants, and it wasn't even an issue. The prostitution and that kind of business was happening in downtown. Like that's where everything was. And obviously we didn't see it because we hung out in Parque Lleras. And that's why I chose to live in El Poblado, 6-7 years ago, was because I found myself every weekend coming to, hang out in Parque Lleras, right? And party and see my friends and stuff. But now that has changed. Now Parque Lleras has become kind of an open air brothel for a lot of foreigners that come down here. And a lot of those foreigners that come down here for sex tourism also come down here and live and long term. So they slowly become expats. But the bigger shift that we've seen, which that is the negative part, the negative thing that has come about after the pandemic. The positive thing that we've seen this year in 2023, as we've created the Medellin Masterclass, we've realized that wealthy people are coming down here to live semi-permanently or permanently. People that have properties in other countries, like in the Philippines, they've got a property in Brazil, they've got properties in the US. They want to buy a property in Colombia and Medellin so that they can be here 3 months out of the year and then travel to their other property somewhere else. And these are people that are affluent. And we're not talking about the backpackers anymore. We're not talking about the digital nomads even though those people brought in some money and they have some money, but they still have 9-to-5 jobs. We're talking about the entrepreneurs or the retired or early retirees that have a ton of money, disposable income, that could come down here, buy a $200,000 property without worrying about it and stay here 3 months, 6 months out of the year and even leave it vacant the rest of the year and then come back next year.
Yeah.
That's the type of people that we've seen come down here. And why is that happening, AK? Why are these people coming down here?
I think because they see, first of all, the lifestyle that they can get here. They really fall in love with the culture, the weather and all that, plus the investment opportunities, the people, and about how much they can get their time back. Because
Yeah.
there's many people who are rich, right? Like they're successful, but they need to work and work and work and work, and they don't have time to do anything else. But those people are seeing that now they can move here and they can actually win back their time.
Yeah.
They can work, they can invest, they can still be successful, but they can, well, usually a bit older people, not like 20, but maybe like 35, 45, 55. And they're realizing, yeah, I love working and love, being successful, but I need my time back. I want to live on my terms. And I think a lot of those people are starting to move here now. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I think, I don't think, I know because we've met them. They're part of our Medellin Masterclass. But I've also met people that haven't taken the Masterclass that are just acquaintances of mine now that I've met through my network of people that I know that own properties out here.
Why are they moving here?
And they're moving down here for the reasons that you just stated. But on top of that, it's because they have a high quality of life here. And a lot of them are older, and they understand that the healthcare system here is completely great compared to other countries. As I stated in my last live, 9 of the top hospitals in all of Latin America are in Colombia. And in Colombia and in Medellin, 3 of those hospitals are here. So things like that are what are attractive to older people that have money and that want to live here full time and not just get by on $2,000 a month, which you still can. We still get those retirees on $2,000. The digital nomad on $2,000 a month. The
Backpacker
entrepreneur
on $100 a month.
Yeah, we got the backpacker that are staying in hostels. We still get all those. The solo female travelers now more than ever. The families coming down here for vacation or to settle here, we see that as well. But now I'm seeing this new shift in wealthier people coming down here to buy a property and to live here. A lot of them semi-permanent. And they're not here the whole year, but they're here half the year, 3 months out of the year. So it's pretty interesting how that shift is happening.
Absolutely.
Even though we're going through a wave of crime in Medellin, that's not really...
but can we address that crime?
Yeah.
I think people just see these news and these YouTubers talking about drugging, robbing, stabbing, killing, all this stuff. I actually read a news article yesterday from a Colombian newspaper, right?
Yeah.
And it said 35 foreigners have been killed in 2023.
That's insane.
But you got to dig a bit deeper. You can't just accept news for what it is. I read a bit lower. That was the article. That was the headline. So many people saw that. Oh my God, we're all going to die, right?
Yeah.
No. I read the article and it said the reasons for this, the majority of people who were killed, all of them actually, can be whittled down to 2 reasons. One reason is that they were getting robbed, which is not good, but they resisted.
Yeah.
They tried to fight back, and then the guys shot them and they died, which is very unfortunate, but never do that, okay?
Yeah, never
and
resist.
The second one all stems from Tinder. The second majority of people who are being killed here is because they're meeting up with girls they just sent like one message to and saying, come over to my place.
Right.
Those are the 2 reasons.
Yeah, the 2 reasons.
If you don't do that, you will be fine.
Yeah, and I understand a lot of people come down here for women. I didn't come down here for that when I got deported from the United States because I got deported from the United States. I didn't want to leave the United States, but I came down here. But once I came down here and I realized that the women are beautiful here, as well as the rest of the people are amazing as well, and the culture is great and it's cheap down here. And if you are having problems picking up women in the United States or in your country, you probably will have less of that here, but you still have problems. I mean, you're a dork everywhere. But the fact of the matter is that people do come down here for that, and that being the main reason. And if that's your first exposure to Medellin, that's okay, as long as you get over it. A lot of people do. They come down here because they realize, oh, I got to go down there and check out the women. And then you come down here and you realize, like, oh, wow, this is a place where I could actually live. Not only meet people that I want to meet, but also live. So it's like the 2 things that AK was talking about is that if you're completely green to the city and you don't know the difference between a hood chick and a regular person, then you should probably stay off the internet, like Tinder and stuff like that, Bumble, because you could get set up. I mean, a lot of the people that have been killed and overdosed on drugs to get robbed.
We have a question
because
here.
of that.
Maybe a bit of confusion. Alton said, I thought you just said it was dangerous and you're likely to get robbed. People shouldn't resist getting robbed. You're the main reason I decided not to go there. No, what we said is, like, not everybody is being robbed, right?
Yeah.
But the people that are being killed, those 35, a large percentage of those people are because they resisted
Right.
robbery.
Yeah.
You should just give
Just
up
give up
whatever
your
you
stuff.
have, because you always can buy new stuff.
Yeah.
But once you're dead, you cannot come back to life.
Yeah, and to answer your question, yes, there has been a higher crime rate this year, and yes, there have been more gringos being killed this year through overdoses of drugs or even like a shooting or a stabbing this year than any other year. But there are two common denominators.
Mm-hmm.
Number one is resisting to an armed robbery, and number two is having a female come over to your apartment that you don't even know on a first date. That's like the two common denominators. So if you eliminate those two common denominators, we probably wouldn't have 30 dead Americans, right, this year.
It's not
or
Americans
foreigners,
also.
foreigners.
Yeah, foreigners.
Yeah, foreigners.
So if you're worried, just don't do those things.
Yeah. Well, if you're really worried, don't come.
Yeah, exactly.
If you're really,
If
and
you
there's
yeah.
no problem if you
should
you
never
not
go
coming
to a place
to
if you're
Medellin.
stressed about looking over your shoulder all the time.
We're not begging you to
No,
come to
no,
Medellin.
we
We're
don't care.
we're giving you our experience
Yeah.
here. I've been here 13 years. I've never been robbed, never even been pickpocketed. But at the same time, this is how I roll everywhere: black T-shirt and jeans. No watches, no chains. That's not because I'm downgrading. I never did that in the U.S. anyway. But that's just me. And I have seen people that come out here with watches and chains and be fine for a month or two. But if you do that for more than that, you probably get robbed.
I also want to talk about something. We got my chat blowing up with. Someone said, "Address your beef with passport bros." What beef do I have with passport bros? I have no idea. I've never actually spoken about passport bros on my channel. Not once have I said anything about passport bros.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering.
Wait,
do you guys
like
fill me
so?
in?
Well, I mean, someone should fill me in on what a passport bro is. What is a passport bro?
So from the research I've
Like,
done,
I haven't done any research, so
I've
don't
done
quote
basic,
me on this
I've
stuff.
done basic research,
Yeah.
and what I've found out about passport bros is there are different few types, right? Passport bros can't even agree on what is a passport bro from what I've seen.
Oh.
Discussion. So if you look on...
So where does this come from?
If you look on Urban Dictionary, it says...
Well, Urban Dictionary.
Well,
That's
well,
like Wikipedia.
No, Urban Dictionary, and that pushes towards other blogs and people written
okay.
and stuff.
Okay.
Because the urban, like, it's a social media phenomenon, right? So it says that passport bros are guys who are fed up with the way that dating and women have gone in the US and Western culture
Okay.
because of the rise of
get that.
feminism. So they said they want to move to different countries where the women are not so much westernized and don't have these feminist views
Okay.
to find women there.
Ah.
So that's one type of passport bro, right?
Okay. I understand that. Yeah.
The one that says that blames feminism and then for their not getting women and move somewhere else to get women.
Okay.
Passport bro type 1. Passport bro type 2 is the one that's just like, hey, I accept it. It's not going so well for me here. Let's go somewhere else. That's passport bro 2. They might be in the US. They don't blame anyone else. They just say, I'm not my dating.
It's
life
not working out for
going
me
well,
here.
It's not
Yeah.
going well. Maybe if I change my scenery, I go somewhere else, it might work better. That's passport bro number 2.
Okay.
So those two are similar, except passport bro number 1 blames other people
Like
for their
feminism and stuff? Okay.
women and whatever. And passport bro number 2 just says, hey, I'm going to try somewhere else. Let's go. Either way, I don't care.
Yeah. You don't care
I
either
don't
way.
care.
Yeah.
And passport bro number 3 is the one that says, I'm a passport bro, but just comes and pays women for sex.
Oh, so it's like a sex tourist.
Expat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but those guys call themselves also passport bros.
Oh, so it's like it's kind of like a little melting pot. there
Melting
of-
pot,
of
yeah. So no
different
one
things.
really, I don't even know what is a proper definition of passport bro.
Well, I mean, I think you kind of just defined it,
Yeah,
really,
yeah,
if you
yeah.
think about it.
And
Like,
passport bro is not, is people from all cultures. Like, I see many people, white passport bro, Asian passport bro, black passport bro, many passport bros. But the one thing is that there's those are the three. From what I've done, I'm not like a passport bro expert, but what I read is those type of 3 of people, right?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't have anything against those people. I mean, honestly, I believe that if you're coming to Colombia, because it is my country, and if you're coming into my city, Medellin, and you're coming in with good intentions, whether it's to find a mate, even if it's to indulge in prostitution, bro, it's legal here for a reason. And if that's what you're coming down here to do, I can't judge that, right? Like, that's not my position. It's what the country has decided that is legal. And if you're helping out the economy and helping another person out that way, all power to you. But just know that there could be consequences, and that consequence could be your life.
Yeah.
If you're playing that, what they say, play dangerous games, get dangerous prizes, or play stupid games, get stupid prizes.
Exactly.
It's just one of those things. If you're not educated, educate yourself. Go do your thing. Don't cause harm to people, and hopefully nothing will happen to you.
Yeah.
I think that's the main thing, right?
Yeah.
Let's see. We've got Dream Architect. How you doing, Dream Architect? Hope you're having a good day. Can you give some info on Bogota? We'll be traveling there. Bogota is awesome. I love visiting Bogota. I could be
Me
in
too.
Bogota for like a weekend, even for a week. I've gone with when my dad came down here after being gone from Colombia for 32 years. We spent about a week in Medellin, in Bogota, visiting his sister, his two sisters that he has out there, some cousins that I'd never met before as well. It was super fun. There's always something to do. There's a ton of museums in Bogota. I mean, the population's like 10 million, so there's always something to do. Obviously, there are some dangerous neighborhoods, but then there's also some really nice ones as well. I usually stay in La Candelaria, which is in downtown,
Yeah.
like the historic area
That's the main tourist
downtown.
spot.
It's
with
one
the
of the
church
main
and
ones.
stuff.
Yeah, I love
yeah.
that.
The
It's so
square.
cool. It's
Yeah,
so
yeah.
cool to go out at night, have a drink out there, have some coffee, etc. It's great. We've got, Alton says, passport bros are looking outside of America for a woman because of feminism. Yes. Okay, so yeah, that was one of the reasons
But he
why.
also said
I kind of get that.
He also said Sexpat is not passport bro. I've seen Sexpats posting videos saying passport bro on their title, and then they're
Yeah.
just going to
I think they're
Brussels.
just trying to get in
Oh,
there.
they're trying to get the
They're
SEO.
No, yeah. It's like the reason why I put expat in my titles. It's not because I am an expat, or it's because I even condone the word expat, because really we're very similar to immigrants, right? Anybody that comes down to another country to live long term, seeking a better life or whatever, is an immigrant in essence,
Yeah.
not an expat. But if I put immigrant in my titles of
one's
my
gonna
YouTube
search.
channel, it's never
No
gonna.
one's
The
gonna
algorithm won't pick it up. You
Yeah.
got to put expat. So
Yeah.
I think a lot of those guys might just be putting
Yeah.
passport bro in their videos just to get more views.
Yeah.
And then obviously they get a lot of views
Yeah.
and get a lot of following because of
Yeah.
that.
To clear it up, I couldn't give a flying fuck about passport bros. It doesn't affect my life.
Yeah,
I don't care.
I honestly
I've
think
never
it's
spoken about it, and honestly,
yeah. In my
not-
opinion, I think it's good for the economy for anybody that comes down here. And if the main reason you're coming down here is to find a mate, it's like fucking awesome.
Yeah.
That's great.
James Acosta says passport bros 90% number 3. Unfortunately, many post on YouTube.
What? Not 90% number 3. Unfortunately, many posts.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's what get views. If you've got women in
Yeah.
your things, I mean, I've considered it. I'm putting like a naked girl on my
Naked?
YouTube, a semi-naked girl on my YouTube thumbnail.
I think also,
I mean, I think you guys wouldn't watch. I mean, I think we've dedicated our channel to like something other than just that,
Yeah.
and I think like our audience now would not even appreciate
no,
that.
definitely
Or
not.
maybe we just go blow up and go viral.
You would blow up. I talked about this in the video. Like, if you appeal to the largest audience possible, that's, I guess, just guys interested in
Females,
chicks, click and watch chicks.
Yeah,
But
I
I'm
could
not
just
really
go down
interested.
to
I don't really
Veracruz
care. Yeah.
downtown and like where all the
But
tranny
it's kind
prostitutes
of
are.
like very like low level stuff. Like, I'm not interested. in
Yeah,
talking
yeah.
about
Well, our demographic are people that
very
want to
different.
come down here long term and maybe buy a property and stuff, and we can help those people out.
Yeah.
The tourists, not even the regular tourists. Like our demographic's not a backpacker,
No.
so we're not going to do a video on how to, the cheapest hostel in Medellin.
No,
That's not going to be a video you'll ever find in our channel.
Alton has a question. Are you guys familiar with Nicaragua? I was there for a year and felt safe. If Medellin is similar, then awesome. I'm on my way. I was actually living in Nicaragua for 3 months.
Wow.
Yeah, that's where I volunteered in one hostel, and I was a bartender.
Oh,
I
yeah?
didn't know how to make any drinks, but I just threw whatever and gave it to him, and that was my job for 3 months. Nicaragua, depends which part.
That's
of
cool though.
Yeah.
I mean, that's an amazing. That's like kind of a movie. Like, yeah,
So I was surfing every day. Cool place. It's very different to Medellin.
yeah.
Nicaragua, where I was there, was very like more rundown.
Was
it's
it like
very
underdeveloped?
Underdeveloped, raw. But Medellin is like a bustling city with a lot of development. Most innovative city in the world in 2018 or 19, right? Nicaragua, nowhere in Nicaragua is ever winning that.
Yeah.
Same with many places in Latin America. But it's a huge difference. But in terms of safety, I would say Medellin is more dangerous than some parts of Nicaragua.
Wow.
I haven't seen the stats, but when I was in Nicaragua, I never felt unsafe. No.
Yeah.
But it's also, it doesn't
How was
have,
the surfing there?
awesome.
I gotta go.
Barrels after barrels. Not that I ever gotten one, but I looked at them. I watched them. I almost died there once when it had like 2 huge waves come down on me.
I'm a longboarder. I don't like those giant ass waves.
Yeah,
I'm
no.
too old for that now. You're getting there too. George says, hi, Andrew. Hi, guys. Andrew, did you notice a huge boom in prices after the pandemic, especially in real estate? It's going on. Yeah, there is a boom. And I guess what you define as a boom is relative. But there has been an increase in prices, particularly, again, in El Poblado and in areas in El Poblado. Not even all of El Poblado, but certain areas of El Poblado near the closer you get to the touristy area and, like, you know, the nice high rises. There has been an increase even for locals on prices there. And in Laureles, areas of Laureles have increased. Some areas like Sabaneta also have seen an increase because they've seen an influx of people moving there. And it's not foreigners, it's Colombians moving out of the city into these smaller municipalities like Sabaneta, Itagüí, etc. So yes, there has been a boom, but it's nothing that is, how can I say this? There's nothing that is being created, or this boom is not created by something false, like people having easy access to credit in Colombia. For example, in the United States, when we had the big market crash in 2007 in real estate, it was because of the secondary mortgage market, right? Where people were refinancing their homes. But before that, it was because they were able to get a $600,000 loan, a $500,000 loan, while making $3,000 a month, right? That doesn't happen in Colombia. So there's no false inflation of prices based on access to credit. So to quell anybody's worry or concern that there might be a real estate bubble, understand that real estate bubbles are created through inflation, false inflation. So what's happening right now is inflation, natural inflation, maybe because there's more money being printed, and also there's more access to money and for the locals because unemployment rate has gone down. More people are working. More people can get into an apartment. There are more construction. Construction is one of the number one. It is the number one product of Medellin.
Yeah.
Construction, and there's always construction going on, a lot of buildings being built, so there's a lot of money being generated to that, and a lot of the locals getting through that through blueprint projects, which I discussed in the last live as well, and I'll probably do a live just dedicated on how you, as a foreigner coming down here with no local ID, can actually get into a property here with credit, gaining Colombian credit, which is usually a big question. I'll probably do a live on how to do that through blueprint projects, but a lot of locals get through their properties through blueprint projects, and that has also inflated prices because more people have the opportunity to buy.
Yeah, so now that we've spoken about the different type of expats that come here over the last, 13 years?
Yeah. Shall
we talk a bit about the good and the bad that's come from all of this?
Yeah. Someone's asking for my email address. It's medellin.buzz@gmail.com. That email address, if you guys have any questions about the Medellin Masterclass, you can check out all of the information on the MedellinMasterclass.com. You can also download the free Moving to Medellin guide, which we've worked for over 100 hours, 120 different rows of things to do when moving to Medellin, how to prepare to move, etc. It's completely free. You can download it. The link is in the description below. But yeah, or you can email me at medellinbuzzandrew@gmail.com. Patio Bonito is extremely well located, situated. I wish you luck on that deal. Yeah, going through a purchase of a property in Patio Bonito right now. It's going to be awesome. I know it's going to be my favorite property, I think.
Michael says, is it easier for me as a citizen of Colombia to get a property?
Absolutely.
Yeah, because you can get a loan.
Yeah, because you can get a loan. Obviously, you have to have credit. Mm-hmm. But as a citizen right away, you can even get into a blueprint project if you don't have credit. But if let's say you are a Colombian citizen living in the United States, there are banks, Colombian banks that have locations in the United States that will loan you based on your U.S. credit. I'll repeat that. If you're a Colombian citizen and you have good U.S. credit because you live in the U.S., you can get a loan using your U.S. credit for a property in Colombia. That's kind of a loophole. My sister did that. My dad's doing that. You can definitely do it if you have good credit in the U.S.
Cool. So let's talk about it.
Okay.
Good and bad.
Good and bad about the expats
Expat
with
boom.
money coming down
Yeah.
here. Yeah, the expat boom. I mean, it's kind of an expat boom. It's not just the people with money coming down here, but definitely it's a boom in people just wanting to live here more than just traveling or more than just the 1 month, 3 months. They want to be here 6 months to a year.
Yeah.
So we'll
Let's
go
get
to the positives or the negatives.
Let's finish on a high. So let's start with negatives.
Okay, so the
I'll
negatives.
give you one negative. I just made a full video about this, so it's coming this. What are we today? Friday.
Yeah.
It's coming out on Sunday, so we're going to delve into this further. But one negative is prices going up.
Prices going up.
Prices
Yeah.
going up.
Yeah.
And
prices for rentals.
prices for short-term
furnished.
rentals going up.
Yeah. Thank you for clarifying that. Yes.
Short-term Airbnb furnished apartment prices going huge.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of foreigners, a lot of locals upset about this. You'll see it on the TikTok and the Instagram. They're making reels about it. We recently did it.
Yeah.
I recently uploaded a video to our masterclass Instagram page.
Yeah.
And I don't know how to use Instagram, to be honest. So I didn't know how to target it.
You're such a boomer.
I just uploaded it. I don't know how to push it to like expats or whatever. But it just went to Colombians. And then I was just answering a question from CBL Daddy, actually. He said, how much does it cost to live in Medellin? Live a comfortable life when I can have a really nice apartment and I can, go out and buy a lot of meals and, have good entertainment, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And I said, 1,500.
Yeah.
That's about doable. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Comments flooded in. Comments flooded in from locals like...
From locals.
Yeah, like bloody gentrification this, gentrification that. I think the reason for that is that people come here without doing any research, and they just might go something like, oh, my apartment in Miami is 4,000, so I'm going to pay for this one bedroom in Poblado 3,000. Let's do it. And then it builds like that.
As an Airbnb owner myself, I jack up the price as high as possible. I don't care.
You're a businessman.
Because I'm a businessman. On top of that, it's not renting to the locals. It's renting to the foreigners. And
many Colombians are doing exactly the same.
Yeah, I am Colombian.
Yeah. But I mean,
but many other, all of the other owners of Airbnbs in Colombia are mostly Colombians, not Americans coming to gentrify. The tourists are coming in and paying higher prices for furnished rentals. If locals want to buy and purchase and rent furnished rentals, they can do so.
Yeah.
But they're going to have to compete with the foreigners that are renting furnished rentals.
But they wouldn't.
They're
That's
not.
the problem.
This is stupid to do.
Yeah.
So I guess the negative part is the xenophobia and part of some uneducated Colombians. And really that's what it is, because they believe what they've been told by some media. And even there was a government, like a political group, putting up posters on gentrification, like Gringo go home type posters.
Just a few months ago.
Yeah, just a few months ago. I haven't seen them since, though. I mean, they really didn't gain any ground, because I do believe that Colombians are smart, and they've proven to be, because they don't even like the president that they've chosen right now. We got 2 more years of him, but whatever. But Colombians, for the most part, are very smart. And they don't buy into most Colombians don't buy into this gentrification bandwagon that this political group was trying to push. When the elections were coming, by the way, with the mayor elections, right before that, that's when they started doing this big push. And then their party didn't win, so we haven't seen any posters. But it's really bad that someone would try to take advantage of that of ignorance like that. I mean, I guess the government does that all the time, taking advantage of the dumb people and then having them vote for you. But the reality is that there is no real gentrification happening here. There's tourism boom. Yeah, there's a lot of tourism, but these people aren't coming down here to live here full time. And the people that are a minority, right? And the minority that we talk about are the retirees, the people that have money that want to buy properties, etc. But that's not a giant amount of people that are going to change an entire, 5 million population city's economics, right?
So that's that xenophobia.
Xenophobia, yeah, part 1.
And then the xenophobia part 2 is because of what you mentioned before, like the square of Lleras, which was like a nice place before.
Yeah.
Now it's been completely converted. I feel Colombians, some of them at least, bear some negative feelings towards foreigners for that change.
For that change, yeah. Because before, like in 2010, Colombians' view of a foreigner was the backpacker with the flip flops or whatever, and they'd be like, "Oh, they're just gross. They don't even shower." Type. That was like
Yeah.
I was a teacher back then, and I would always ask, "What are your views to my students?" Because they were young adults. What do you think of foreigners? They're like, "Oh, they're gross." But now the foreigners that are coming down are like, "Oh, I like foreigners. They're cool because they're not what I thought they were. Right? They're actually regular people." So yeah, the negatives are that it could cause xenophobia, and in the wrong hands, that could get out of hand real quick.
Yeah.
Another negative is the fact that the short-term rental market has gone up in price. Someone just asked, Alton asked if I could get a $450 US furnished apartment now.
No
You
chance.
can, but not in El Poblado.
You got to go out deep.
You got to go to Belén. You could get probably a good one in Belén somewhere. Robledo, downtown. I've seen some in downtown for $450.
I think even
I have a
Belén-
video. In the good areas of Belén, probably
No.
not. Yeah, you'd have to go to like Robledo.
Yeah.
Closer to Robledo for $450 a week. But I mean, $450 a month for a furnished apartment. You're better off just going to a hotel, right? Like a hotel on La Setenta or something like that, where you're not going to be paying that
Or get
much.
a room with someone.
Or get a room with someone.
You can get a room for
a hotel
450
room,
for sure.
yeah. Even
In someone's house, Airbnb.
someone's house
Yeah.
and Airbnb. That could be a good experience
Yeah,
too.
learn
Yeah.
Spanish, practice.
Yeah.
Meet someone from the local culture.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did that when I first got here because I wanted to stay in a house with a local Colombian and just speak Spanish all day. And
Yeah.
I stayed just down the road in Calle Diaz,
Yeah.
opposite the Éxito there. And that even cost me like $600
Yeah.
for a room.
For a room.
For a room,
Holy
yeah.
cow. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the furnished rental market has gone through the roof. You can find some deals out there, but you just have to scour the internet and not go through Airbnb.
Here we go. This is a great question because we're doing it right now for one of our elite students. George said, bureaucracy timeline of acquiring a property is long or doable in a week or so.
Oh, not a week or so.
Well, we said, what did we say to our customer the other day?
Yeah.
Yeah, we said about 2 months you might be
Yeah.
able to finish everything.
About
from
2
start to
months.
finish.
Yeah, 2 months
Finding
time.
and closing the deal, all the legal parts.
Yeah, 2-month timeline. Give yourself at least 2 months.
A week, you're dreaming.
George. Yeah, a week, definitely not. Unless if like it's a family member. Even then, that might take 2 months.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah.
Another good point. Dan says, I pay $2,000 a month for my unfurnished 3-bedroom, 200-meter square apartment in El Tesoro.
$2,000 a month
$2,000 a month.
unfurnished.
For
Wow,
200
that must.
meters.
But that's El Tesoro
Yeah,
area.
and
That
200 meters
and
is
that
huge.
must be 200 meters. That's a giant ass penthouse. You probably
That
have
must
a really
an
good
awesome view and stuff.
Yeah, that's very expensive. That you're rich, Dan. Invite me out.
For unfurnished, 2,000. This must be like a
2,000.
palace. though,
Holy shit!
man.
I want to go. You must have like a pool in your
Wait, next
in your
next
in your
live
penthouse.
stream from Dan's house.
From
Let's do
Dan's
it.
house. That's what we're having the
From
Christmas
Dan's
party for
patio.
all the children.
They would love it, actually.
Yeah, pool party at Dan's house. No, Dan, that's amazing though. It must be an amazing property
Yeah.
too. El Tesoro area, like I said, if I had a family out here and I wanted security and I wanted luxury, I would live up in El Tesoro, Los Balsos, even like San Lucas area, like those areas, and you're gonna find those prices up there if you really want something nice and new.
Yeah. So now we've covered the negatives of the expat boom.
Wait, let's think. Are there any other negatives
No.
of the expat boom?
Guys,
Other
can
than
you think of any other negatives?
Yeah, do you guys
apart
think-
from just xenophobia because of prices going up? I mean, prices going up as well for all the other expats, and then xenophobia because of other type of tourists that we talk about already.
Yeah.
Any other negatives?
Yeah, I
Leave
can't
us
think
some
of.
comments.
Maybe in the future, if the expat community starts growing here to a substantial amount, there could be gentrification. There could be,
Yeah.
for example, people that can't live in El Poblado anymore because they're priced out, so they have to move to like Belén.
Yeah.
And they start gentrifying. That's what gentrification is, by the way, going
Yes.
into a lower income neighborhood and making it a higher income neighborhood because you were pushed out of your neighborhood. It's kind of what happened in the United States with people from Silicon Valley going to other places within the country because they can't afford Silicon Valley anymore. But when they go in droves like that and they've got a ton of money, buying a $200,000, $300,000 house in Houston means nothing to them because they make $1 million a year. Where in Silicon Valley, they can't buy a $2 million house. What's the average? I think it's $1 million for a house in Silicon Valley
Wow.
or something like that. So that's real gentrification. What's happening in Medellin right now is not gentrification, but
That's
if it
good.
continues,
Yeah.
and it grows for the next 10 years, it could happen in pockets of Medellin.
I don't think you can do real gentrification in Medellin because the areas where you would want to go and really do the true gentrification are too dangerous.
Yeah, like,
You're
well,
not going to go straight.
well, so
Yeah.
there'd have to be two things happening. Not
Yeah.
only would tourism and the expat community have to boom completely,
Yeah.
but on top of that, the local government would have to get security under wraps.
yeah. It's
So, like,
never
for
gonna
example, if they cleaned up downtown
Yeah.
and they made it nice, and then all of a sudden people from Poblado want to move to downtown because now there's discos there, restaurants, hip area. What happened literally this is what happened a few years ago in downtown LA. Downtown LA was horrible. Nobody lived there. And then the city cleaned it up and now it's a gentrified area. That's real gentrification.
Yeah.
Again, what's happening here, it's not gentrification, but it could lead to that if this keeps, if Medellin keeps going in a positive route. It's horrible to say that locals wouldn't like that. Because yeah, they might be pushed out of their area, but when people come in with money to a poor country, man, I want my people to be rich. Like, I don't, when someone says, oh man, I wish prices were lower for rentals, I'm like, why? The people that are making the money are Colombian. You want Colombia to stay poor so you could enjoy your low budget?
Yeah.
Like, that's retarded.
I think people don't understand also, there's a common conception amongst people who haven't been here
Yeah.
and watch Colombia, Medellin on YouTube that everybody's poor. That's not the case. I'm going to, like, there is poverty, but there's many Colombians who are very affluent. They're doing business. They're building up their businesses. They're working very hard. They have rentals. They have Airbnbs. They do this as well. Not all Colombians are just living on the street.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It
Or
doesn't
like
mean-
in shacks. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like, there's a lot of entrepreneurial events happening as well here. Was an event a couple of weeks ago that I was going to called Game Changers. And Steve Wozniak, if you don't know who that is, that's the co-creator of Apple.
Of Apple, yeah.
And Grant Cardone.
Wozniak,
He's
yeah.
huge in the sales industry.
Oh, he's coming down here to Medellin.
Yeah,
in
yeah.
December.
I got tickets. I was supposed to go last week, but Wozniak had a stroke, unfortunately, so they moved it to start of next year. But that is a initiative by local Colombians. There's 25 plus Colombian entrepreneurs who are going and speaking at this event.
Yeah.
Colombians do this as well,
Yeah.
man.
And well, how much were the tickets? They're like
$500.
Yeah, that's not
For the
cheap.
lowest ticket.
Yeah,
The
that's the
lowest
lowest
ticket was
ticket, 500 bucks.
Yeah.
That's not cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alvaro says, how about the option of buying a nice property house, 3 to 4 bedroom in Upper Poblado, and sharing all costs with three of your mates, and work your way up from there and acquire more real estate equity? It's definitely possible. I know a couple people that have done that actually. So it is definitely possible. It just depends on your budget, your income. Yeah.
I have a great question for you. We have EST asking us a question, and I want to get your answer on this.
What
And
is
if we
that?
can't provide this, full refund, all right?
Full refund.
He says,
On the
out
live.
of
All your
Andrew-
donations are
out
going
of
back.
Andrew's bank account. He said, how much for an unfurnished 2-bed high-rise in Poblado? Do it for yourself with the upgraded Masterclass version. So Masterclass Elite is the package where we find you an apartment long-term. You don't do anything. We find it for you. He wants to live in Poblado, a nice 2-bed in a high-rise building.
Depends on how many square meters
Yeah.
that 2-bedroom is, because literally in some of these high rises, a 2-bedroom could be 60 square meters, 62
Yeah,
square meters.
give us
If you want like a 62 square meter apartment, furnished or unfurnished? Unfurnished. Unfurnished
Rental per
2-bedroom,
month.
rental per month for, let's say, a year.
Yep.
You could get it as low as $800 a month.
There we go.
Yeah, in the nice area of El Poblado.
Okay.
Going out of, not going through
using
Airbnb.
the local avenues.
Local avenues, you could definitely find it for about $800 a month in a nice area, nice apartment, probably with a pool, probably with a gym, probably with some green areas, and obviously a security guard.
Do you have the book a call link on your
The
description?
Book of Coal?
Book a call.
Oh, the.
You know, when people want
I
to
was
join,
like, what part of the Bible is the Book of Coal?
when people want to join the masterclass, but they want to chat to us a bit first.
Yeah, it's in the description. In
Ah.
the description of my video, you can book a call.
Yep.
If you want a 15-minute consultation about the Medellin Masterclass with both of us. We get on a Zoom call like this, answer any questions.
Also, if you go to MedellinMasterclass.com and you scroll down a bit, this little footer comes up and it says book a call. You can book from there as well. We can talk to you EST about what you want, and then we can provide some guarantees. If we don't get what you want, money back, all right?
Yeah. JCVS, what's up? He brings up a great point. He says, if you buy real estate there now and later you want to sell it, it's going to be a pain. Yeah, again, one of the things that I stress to people is that the real estate market in Colombia, or at least in Medellin right now, it's not a flipping or wholesaling type of business right now. It's not like what's happening in the U.S. in some cities where you can buy a property under value and fix it up and flip it real quick to make some dough. You could do that to an extent here, but you're not going to make as much money as you would in obviously those cities. This is a long buy and hold cash flow deal. If you know real estate, you know what that means. You buy, you hold, and you cash flow. The yearly yield is about 15 to 30% on my end. On AirDNA, I think it's about 8%, which is still higher than the average of 6% yield in the U.S. for a rental. So if you do nothing and you buy a property and you give it to an agency to rent out, you'll probably get 6 to 8% yield, whatever, normal yield. But if you, like you were talking about, do it yourself, buy the property, get the construction crew in there to make it look really nice. And then you also market it, because that's what I do. I've got my personal assistants that help me market it, and my administrator that helps me do the check-ins, helps me do any fixes, call the contractor, whatever. My yield is about 15 to 30%, give or take.
Awesome. We have any more questions, or we're 2 hours in, so it's about time to get to the positives.
To the positives
positives of the expat boom.
I think the positives of the expat boom, as a Colombian myself, I love people discovering my country, discovering the culture, discovering the people, discovering that Colombia is more than just what you see in the media, that Medellin is more than just what you see in the media. Again, if the reason you come down here is for a negative, for example, because women and prostitution out here and drugs, but you come here and you realize, like, wow, that's just a fraction of what Colombia offers, that is a positive for me, because these people are coming down here, and when they get back to their country, they're going to say, I had an amazing time in Colombia. The people are awesome. I want to go live there. You're competing against developed nations for cost of living and quality of life. So the positive for me is the fact that Colombia gets put into this positive light as a country, and Medellin as a city.
I think
another positive.
Yeah, keep going.
So another positive, obviously, is there's an influx of money coming in.
Yes.
So economics-wise, people coming in with foreign currency to spend on their vacation or spend on their life, because they're making, $5,000 a month or $2,000 a month, and they can afford to live in a higher strato neighborhood, and they're going to be contributing to the economy, to the local economy, because those people are probably going to have a maid. They're probably going to frequent restaurants. They're probably going to buy clothes out here. They're probably going to do local things that contribute to the local economy. And I think that's awesome, because that means that there's more employment for people. There's more taxes being paid, so the city advances.
Just think about it this. You, one person, right? How many locals do you hire or pay money to?
Yeah, me?
Yeah. You, how many? You're just one person.
I think we counted. It's like 14 people.
14 jobs provided.
Per month, yeah.
Well, people don't think about that.
Yeah, between the digital marketing agency plus the Airbnb stuff, now the masterclass stuff, and my channel now, because I've got another person helping with that. It's about 14 people that I directly influence for a better life every single day. On top of that, I'm a founder of HelpColombiaNow.com.
Yes.
And there we influence thousands of people every year
so
directly.
There you go, and also, like, we make videos now. Like, there's YouTubers coming to the city and loving it and making videos and showing it to other people. That's bringing more people and pumping more money into the economy.
Yeah.
Like, look at Calle Diaz, man. I just said it at the start of this live stream. Maybe 6 months ago, it's almost double the amount of shops now and local businesses on this street. 13 years ago. Yeah,
I'm sure it was even there was vacant shops and vacant locations on Calle Diaz.
Yeah. So
now that's like sought after premium real estate.
Yeah.
Wait, Marcus asks, the Elite Masterclass, you help us find a long-term apartment. Yes, that's absolutely true. That's why it's called Elite. We help you do it for you. In the Masterclass, we show you how to do it and give you the resources so that you could do it yourself.
Yeah. Elite, you do nothing.
Yeah.
We do everything.
We do it for you.
Yeah.
What are the two major sectors to get into when starting a high-tech robotics, or even textile or manufacturing, look up Ruta N, like root, R-U-T-A, and then the letter N, Ruta N. Look that up. There was a lot of money pumped into that sector. I think it was 200. It was over $200 million over the course of like the last 5 years, dumped into technology and the health sector as well. And Ruta N was part of it. So look up Ruta N. Great question.
We have a question.
Okay, go ahead.
Yep. You can take Alton's in a sec. Michael said, oh, hang on. We got EST, good networking opportunities. Yes. As I said, there's a lot of people doing their own businesses here in Medellin. So there's a lot of networking opportunities. You can head to mdecommunity.com. I don't know, it's in the link somewhere. I think it's mdecommunity.com.
It is mdecommunity.com.
And there's an entrepreneurs group, actually. And I joined this group last week. On Monday nights, we all have a Zoom call and we all talk about entrepreneur. Yeah.
Oh shit! I gotta join
last
that.
Week. It's pretty good.
I didn't know they had a Zoom call. That's amazing. So you could do this while you're in the U.S. or in any country.
Yeah, connect with people.
Go to MDE. We have no affiliation. It's just a great resource.
Yeah.
MDEcommunity.com.
Yeah.
It's a list of a bunch of different WhatsApp groups depending on your interests, and one of the groups is entrepreneur group, and they have a Zoom call where you can start networking with people.
That's people. There's a few.
I love networking.
Like coaches in there. There's a few marketing guys, paid ads. What's it like? Blockchain guys too, and we all jump on and we take advice from different parts, help each other with
that
problems.
Is awesome.
Yeah. So it's a lot here. So Michael said, did you guys have your own business when you made the move, or how did you guys do it? No, he was deported.
Yeah, I was deported, so I had no business.
He had nothing.
I had no business being here.
I came straight from my mate's couch, being unemployed in Seattle. I came here and I learned everything.
But wait, in Australia, you worked in finance, though, right?
I worked in construction management. I was
construction management. So you had a pretty good job.
Very good
you
job.
left that to travel.
I left that to find something else.
And then you found yourself in Medellin, and you still were just what, like a freelancer?
I was just doing some online jobs and making money here and there.
Yeah.
But my online job wasn't on for like 6 months because it's up and down seasonal.
I see.
I was like, I got to do something with my life. So then I just dived into all this like video production and YouTube and stuff, and I started it from nothing, just February last year, and now it's going good.
Yeah, and me.
Doesn't take long.
Yeah, so me from 2010 to 2016, I worked as a English as a foreign language teacher here while doing side jobs and side hustles. And one of the side hustles was digital marketing, and that started to grow for me. And in 2016, I quit teaching to go full-time with digital marketing as a freelancer. And then slowly but surely, I developed a company from that. And that was my process. Let's see. Wait, hold on. Alton said, I think that, what?
I think they did say that
but
they
I think,
would help you find a place. How much is the masterclass? We have 2 options. You can check it out, MedellinMasterclass.com.
Yeah. Oh wait, it's.
We forgot.
Shit, we got the biggest news of all. We're idiots.
We got too sidetracked talking about different things.
Yeah, it's Black Friday, guys. So what's the percentage of the sale for Black Friday? So the sale lasts from Black Friday to Cyber Monday. We're not going to stop it.
11:59 p.m. on Monday. It ends.
Yeah, that's when it ends. 11:59 on Monday.
Yeah.
So what is the sale?
There's a discount. All right, settle down. Lucky you reminded us.
I know. Like, all right, later, guys.
We have a discount code this weekend, this long weekend, until Monday, 11:59 p.m. If you use the code THANKS, as in Thanksgiving, THANKS, thanks. You use that at checkout, you get $500 off the masterclass.
$500 off the. I was not consulted on this, by the way. That's a lot. Okay, so there's a $500 discount on the Medellin Masterclass until Monday for Thanksgiving, Black Friday, and Cyber Monday.
We have 2 events this week as well with the Masterclass. This month with the Masterclass.
2 events this month.
Event 1 is we're all going to be meeting up for a real estate purchasing mastermind.
Yep.
We have Andrew, obviously, is going to be there, and another one of our friends. Is he confirmed yet?
Yeah, he's 100%
he has
confirmed.
18 properties here.
He owns 18 properties here.
All
Rick.
high-end stuff.
Yeah, and he's going to be there, and he's going to invite a couple other friends that have properties here too. Yeah. So we're going to have like a networking mastermind real estate for our masterclass students.
Because a few of our students are right now actively looking for properties to purchase. So we're going to help each other in that. And the second event is on December the 16th, is where we're going to go out to see the kids.
Yeah.
And we're going to hand out them presents and stuff
Yeah,
for
so
Christmas
they're gonna
at
volunteer.
the orphanages. So
Yeah, that's gonna be
the
awesome.
one thing that some people actually said they don't know about the masterclass.
Yeah.
I don't know if we didn't advertise it very well or what.
Yeah.
But you get invited to our community. We have an exit call with you once you finish the course, and we just see if you vibe with us. And then you're invited to our exclusive WhatsApp group. There we share tips and stuff with all the other people. I think we're at 12 now.
Yeah.
And we meet up twice a month. We have dinners. We do like mastermind sessions.
Right.
We go help the local community and things like that.
Yeah, it's really awesome. I love all of the students that we have because they all bring something different to the table. T-Mac says, I have 4 employees. I'll ramp up next year. That's one of the things, another advantage of coming down here and having either a business or starting a business is that the cost of labor is lower. And although it's lower, it doesn't mean that you're paying them like, slave wages. You're actually paying them well, but it's low for you. It's lower than what you would pay someone in the U.S., but better than what someone earns here for that same job.
Yeah.
So you're helping them out and you're helping yourself out by building a business.
For example, our maid, she gets like a maid's salary is about minimum wage, right?
Yeah.
But on top, we give her all the benefits included as well. Healthcare for her, healthcare for her mum, her kids, all that included. So you can really help give back whilst also building a business by having some awesome people to either help you with your business, like, maybe personal assistants and stuff.
Yeah.
But also people to help free up your time, like maids and personal drivers and chefs, private chefs, all that.
Yeah. Dan says, I employ a cleaning lady, a chef, and a driver. This is something I could never afford in Miami.
Absolutely.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. People that
and how much time does that free up in your life,
So
Dan?
much time, yeah.
Oh my God.
So great, yeah. JCVS says, I tried setting up a tech biz over there. I couldn't find the right talent, and taxes are through the roof in Colombia. In Colombia, you get a whole tax. Yeah, the Colombian taxes are a bitch.
Yeah.
But if you have a good accountant or a tax attorney that can help you figure that out. Luckily for me, my business is based in the United States through my business partners. So I don't have to deal with too much of the Colombian tax system apart from my personal income taxes and obviously the nonprofit organization. But the key has been that tax accountant and my bookkeeper, which is something very important.
Michael said, are the meetups in Medellin? Yes.
Yeah, meetups in Medellin. So by the way, the MedellinMasterclass.com, anybody that takes that will get vetted and then into our private group. It's a WhatsApp group where we all talk about the things that we have going on in the city or what we need help with. We help each other, and then we meet up twice a month.
How can they buy?
Yeah, so if you, how can they what?
How can they buy the course?
How can they buy the course? They go to the MedellinMasterclass.com, and you can check it out there. All the information's there. Or you can book a 15-minute call with us if you need more explanation on the different levels. But what I was going to say, apart from that, is that we're planning on doing meetups for the whole community, even if you haven't bought the Medellin Masterclass, but the people that watch our videos, the people that are subscribers. We want to meet all of you guys, so we're planning on maybe a once a month meetup where we all meet up.
Once every 3 months.
Once every 3 months. Once quarterly, where we meet up with everybody. So that we can all network, we could all share our experiences, and we get to meet all you guys, and that would be really fun. So we're planning on that one, probably going to start in January or February, and then go every quarter, one meetup and make it bigger and bigger. Get like 100, 120 people in a restaurant or in somebody that we know's
Dan's
business.
House, in Dan's patio.
In Dan's patio, 200 square meter patio.
Dan's the official sponsor of the Medellin meetup, Medellin Masterclass meetups now, whether he likes it or not. But that being said, that is the episode.
Yeah, that is the episode. We got a lot of good content here, a lot of
watching,
great
everybody.
questions, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for watching. I will be live again next Saturday, so make sure to tune in for that.
We are going live every third Friday.
Yeah, together we do every third.
I go every first Thursday.
Dang, guys, just get a calendar and write this down.
Yeah, just check it on the
subscribe.
Channel. Just check
hit
it on
the
the
bell.
channel.
Hit the bell for the
when videos are
notifications.
coming.
You'll get an email when we do something.
Yeah.
So hope you guys all have a great rest of your Thanksgiving weekend if you're in the United States.
Yeah,
if you're not, have a great weekend. We'll see you guys next week.
See you later.
Have a good one.